Welcome, procrastinators, to episode 92 of Perpetual Backlog. I am Chief Procrastinator number 1, Aqua, and joining me, like always, is Chief Procrastinator number 2, Dalit.
It's me. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah. If I'm doing an intro this week, that means we got guests. Because when we don't have guests, I just say, hey, what's up? When we talk about Monster Hunter this week, and joining us, like always, is Sly and Lavren. How you guys doing?
Pretty good. I got my
pretty
soup.
good.
I'm ready.
You got your soup. You're ready. All right. All right. Well, like I said, we're going to be talking about Monster Hunter this week. I'm pretty sure most of us played Monster Hunter this week. Or for the past 4 weeks, actually.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's been like that.
So, we're gonna get right into it pretty much because, Dala and I played some Xenoblade ish this past week.
Mm-hmm.
I hopped into X, and I know you played a little bit of 2, but
I played a bunch of 2, and I actually tried to play through 1 again, but it's rough, man.
Yeah,
it's rough. The early part of that game is not as good as the back end of that game.
Nope. But we're gonna answer an age-old question for Monster Hunter this week. All right, by age-old I mean like 4 weeks. With a collective of probably 300 plus hours between all of us, and in Sunbreak, we're gonna answer the question of, is it good? So that'll be like towards the end because I'm gonna click bait.
No, it's pretty average. I mean, why are we even doing this show? It's pretty average.
I think you're being kind with average. We'll see.
Yep.
God, I love this series.
But yeah, I mean, like, how's everybody enjoying Sunbreak? How's it? What is your guys' initial 3-week impression of it?
Well, let me go last while I eat my soup.
Fair.
Go ahead.
Matter of fact, I'll lead us off real quick.
Okay.
For the last few weeks, I mean, it's all I've been playing aside from brief stints into other games to prepare myself for the back end of this month.
Yep.
But like I have thoroughly enjoyed my time with Rise as a whole, and I think that the additions that Sunbreak has brought with it have been fantastic. I don't know how much of my 500 hours is Sunbreak, but it's a lot. It's so much. And they've a lot of the changes that they've made have been super nice. Like, just as a Charge Blade guy, thank you for increasing the size of the explosions. I needed that because it was sad aiming true and scoring a field goal between taller monsters' legs. That was heartbreaking every time. But I mean, like we've gotten so much from this. Additional monsters. We have a new end game grind that I think is better. Maybe not the best, but definitely better than the Apexes. Hopping skewers are novel, but I mean, Dango is still a step down from a full meal. That's all I'm saying.
Need the meat.
Preach.
Especially since in the last 3 days, I actually went back to World just to get a better feel for what I'd be complaining about. Man, that food still looks so good. It gets me so pumped every time.
Dude, if only we had that food in real life.
Oh, don't even.
There is a channel that has made it on the YubTubs.
There is.
Both the base world and Iceborne versions. There is.
Oof. Granny Cat stew. Oh.
And it looked good.
Without getting into specifics, like, yeah, I've super enjoyed my time with this. I super enjoyed my time with Rise as a whole. It's been nice to go from something that is more deliberate and grounded. I wouldn't say realistic. I think that's a bad choice of words for a Monster Hunter game. But something that's slower and more deliberate in its methodology in World to something where we're just quick and anime as fuck, boy.
We're anime ninjas, man.
Yeah, man, it's felt really good. Some of that stuff has taken a bit to get used to, but it's nothing that can't be overcome. We'll all get there. What about you, Sly?
Man, this game is funner than hell.
Mm-hmm.
Man, they just took everything and just cranked it up. Weapons feel like my weapon feels meaty. I'm waiting until I get the MR100 to start doing my bow builds. But yeah, Gunlance feels just fucking meaty as shit. Haven't even done like the full crit attack build yet that I want to do. Been working on shelling builds, which is fun.
Sure.
Shelling feels better. With the exception of long shelling. Like, I think they took that down a notch. But wide and normal feel so much better. The monsters themselves, they gave them new toys, and I like them. I like to see the new stuff, even if it's just like, something as simple as Valstrax does the laser twice now, so you're not ready for that.
Let me tell you, the first time you run into that, oh boy, yeah. And that thing hurts so much. Yeah.
So you're like, you dodge the first laser and you think you're okay, and then bam, second laser. First time that you see that, it hurts, but it's good to see. It's really good to see. So it's good to see the new toys. I will agree. I mean, Dongo is still Dongo. Like that. Like it's Dongo. What can you say? The skewers add a bit to it. I will say I don't like the randomness of the skewers. Like that top skewer, that top part of the skewer being so low, well, not really so low, but low enough to not activate.
Yeah,
I kind of hate that. Like, because most times I'm in, like, depending on Bombardier in my build, and I don't get it. Like half the time I don't get it, almost 70% chance, which is not right.
Jeez, is that how low it gets?
Yeah, like if you put the skewer on, it'll like that top, whatever your top one is, I guess.
Yeah, it gets jacked up by like 3 levels, but you take a hit to percent chance to activate.
And it goes to 70%.
That's really low, goodness.
Yeah.
Is that 70 after a ticket?
After a ticket, yeah.
Oh, all right. That's aggressive.
Yeah, I think it's different for each Dongo because I think the Moxie on the top one drops to 80.
Yeah, so it's different for each Dongo, but since I take Bombardier for Gunlance, like I kind of have to roll that dice every time because it's just too good not to take.
Yeah, facts.
But yeah, like again, I just without going too deep yet. This game's funner than hell.
I mean, so this is like my second, I guess, expansion into Monster Hunter because again, I started with World, and I will forever always say that I definitely like the scale of World and Iceborne compared to, Rise more. It just feels. I feel like I'm in a world lived in World, and not like, I guess glorified quest lobbies. And
Rise is an arcade game.
Yeah. That being said, I was at 90 hours when Sunbreak came out. I'm at 170 now. All right. I've played so much of this fucking game. All right. It is mind-numbingly great. Because I turn it on, and then I look down at my timer, and it's like fucking 6 hours later. All right. I went from, I think as soon as we hit Malzeno in our runs, Dalit or whatever, that's when I swapped from bow to like heavy bowgun or whatever. Haven't looked back.
Could be, yeah, fair enough.
Heavy bowgun's just too much fun. And I've touched a little bit of light bowgun actually today. And I'm just having. I'm at like I said, my only comparison is Iceborne, and everything that they added in Iceborne was good. I mean, Clutch Claw was. I still teeter on back and forth on whether if I like Silk Bugs, or Clutch Claw better. At this moment, I think I'd much rather Clutch Claw, but I'm with Dalit a little bit, and I'd rather have neither.
We'll get to that later on because I think that's going to be a hot take.
Yeah. But I'm enjoying the hell out of Sunbreak, and I'm not even like a
so good
Monster Hunter like enthusiast.
Mm-hmm.
You are now, by the way. You just don't know it. You haven't realized it. We have converted you.
Well, I mean, World. We'll talk about this later, but I think World did a good thing for me because every Monster Hunter from here on out, I'll probably pick up, or every Monster Hunter from World on out, I'll pick up. It's done a great job at introducing.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my and like I said, not going into too much detail. I've been enjoying the hell out of it. It's I think it's Lav's turn this time.
I really enjoy the expansion pack. Again, not going too into detail. I'm having a lot of fun with it. And that's basically it. I'll save the detail stuff for later on. But yeah, I'm loving it. It's a lot of fun. At the end of the day.
Hey guys, don't forget to sub to the channel if you're into what you're hearing. While you're down there, remember to like the video as much as we like you. You'll be good now.
Good. Now, I have come up with the hardest hitting question I could ever think of. All right, we're gonna get this right on the plate here. All right.
Damn, started strong.
This is the most important question for Sunbreak. Luchica or Fiorane?
This man.
I think this is the most important question.
This man.
My answer is Luchica. All right.
Fiorane.
Fiorane.
God damn, man. Hot take.
Outvoted. Let's go.
I think no, we'll segue into this. I think the follower quests and being able to take people with you, I think that's actually one of the more enjoyable aspects of this expansion pack.
Yeah. I do like it a lot.
Huh?
Well,
some followers.
We're not going to talk about Arlo. Arlo does not know how to mount a monster.
They all those followers have some weird quirk where they just screw up and don't do anything.
Yeah, Arlo's is he can't ride word shit.
Utsushi I'm wondering when he's the fucking game.
I'm wondering when he's going to do the punishing, the Punisher.
Mm-hmm.
He just moves around.
Nah, he's an old man. He's a first year or a second. He doesn't. This is new to him. He's not used to riding around on monsters. That wasn't a thing back in the day.
No, I've enjoyed the follower quest. It's a nice little something where you don't have to play with people, but you're not necessarily alone, I guess, playing. And
you're doing alone damage though, let me tell you.
Yeah, you're doing alone damage. Yeah, no. But it's a nice what's the word? Expanding on the world, because you're hunting with all these NPCs that most of them and like, and you're getting more insight onto them, because with. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is a really neat addition. It's not something I was expecting. This has always kind of felt like either you're doing a solo thing for yourself or you're partying up with your boys. So having this opportunity to take the NPCs that usually are just there to be quest givers, it's the whole reason they're there, and expanding on that was nice. I said Fiorane earlier, but legitimately, the one that I enjoyed the most in terms of those follower quests was Luchica. Fiorane just happens to be in the story, and that does so much more for her. I mean, not everyone
Fiorane gets
the
badass cutscene.
Exactly. But no, I mean this is really neat. It's after World attempted to flesh out their NPCs in story, which was also great. The tracker I really enjoyed. I know a lot of people don't love the handler, but she at least was a character. All of the commission they attempted something there, and it was successful in its own way. But this gives a level of interaction and lets people bond with all their waifus as bandos, which is really what this is in the long run. And it's a neat way to kind of pad out a couple more hours in this once you want something different. Like you said before, it's a nice change of pace.
Yeah. No, I mean, we wouldn't get memes like, you know, Luchika fucking throwing a bomb at you to get you out of being knocked out.
Oh, you're stunned, are you? Hold this.
It's fucking hilarious. No, I enjoyed it. I mean, obviously, yeah, each one has their quirks. But I mean, while it's not the main aspect of the game, it's definitely a nice add-on.
Hey, it's also how you get the royal weaponry, and that stuff, if nothing else, is going to be some good glamour.
Yeah. I think that's another good thing that they did with this expansion. A lot of the weapon like armor pieces look absolutely amazing.
Right, you're a fiver. This is actually pretty standard. I mean, they do. They look great, and especially compared to World, where that was one of the major failings, maybe a lot. But yeah, no. Yeah, no. To your credit, though, yeah, they do look amazing.
You know, it's no surprise I'm currently running around in the what is it, the royal
artillery
corps? Yeah, the Luchika set. It's great. What's everybody's master rank at the moment?
92.
100 and something, like 7, 10, something like that.
I'm sitting at 72, I think.
Over 200.
No, it's not.
It is.
My goodness.
It's like 205 or something, maybe.
Oh, man.
Lavren lived on this game, man.
I know this, and still, that's very impressive.
I've been taking my time, too, because of all the internet problems I've been having.
That's you taking your time. This is me literally playing every chance I get.
I mean, this is my thing, so yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much do play it. I stopped at 209 today.
209, Jesus.
All right.
And I'm sitting here like, dude, I'm not even 100, and I'm not like close, like super close to it like Sly is, but I'm like, one day I'll fight Scorn Magnamalo. One day. That's me and Dollar were actually talking about this. Was it yesterday? Because like, you know, I finally fought the master rank version of Valstrax, right?
It was yesterday.
Why is he before Scorn Magnamalo? Because
that's what I'm saying.
Why? What I've seen from Scorn is that he's not as hard.
It's because he's not new.
That was what I said, because Magnamalo was the previous flagship. He's the newer monster. You put him at the end.
Yep.
Oh, God. I think master rank Valstrax is so much more difficult.
He's aerial. He hits very hard.
You're also watching multiplayer.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Go ahead and fight Scorn solo for your first time and tell me how that turns out.
Yeah, I'd rather not.
It's a lot more fun.
I'll be sure to tell you how it goes. I can't wait. I can't wait.
My finger dexterity does not work as well in video games anymore, and I'm saying I suck shit at this game. So I'd much rather have people.
Yeah.
To Logan's credit, yeah, I
I don't
enjoyed
blame
it
you.
my first time. So, I mean, I guess it wasn't as bad as it could have been, but I also thought that Score Magnamalo wasn't anywhere nearly as obnoxious as Valstrax could be. But having all his attention all the time might be different. Also, I play a Charge Blade, so I kind of want his attention all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like
That's true.
base Magnamalo was my favorite thing to bully in Rise. Absolutely, it's like the Charge Blade was meant to just absolutely wreak
Oh
havoc on
yeah.
him.
Yeah, it's a good matchup.
Any of you guys have a favorite monster in Sunbreak that was introduced in Sunbreak? What's your like top one? That's a tough question. Well, Dolly, don't shut up. We have to hear gore out of your mouth.
to be fair, that's actually not even the real answer.
Yeah.
I just feel inclined to have to say it after everything that I've said leading up to this.
True.
I love Gore, but our mobility has absolutely kneecapped him. We are way too strong for Gore. It's probably Malzeno. Much like Magnamalo, it's just a good fight for me. Like I enjoy that fight quite a lot.
We'll see if they give us afflicted Gore.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go. That would make a difference. Yes.
Yeah. I do like Malzeno a lot. I think he's a fun fight. I do like the final boss a lot. For a final boss, I think it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I do honestly like Scorn Magna probably a lot more than most monsters in the roster so far.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The presentation is just what does it for me. I like the new things they gave him, and just like the cutscene with Scorn Magna on top of what you and how if you fight it is just like, wow, okay, this is cool. Like this is really awesome. So it just helps hype it up for me. So I was really excited to fight Scorn Magna, and I wasn't disappointed. I really enjoyed it. It was fun.
Yes.
So I think
I
he's
agree.
probably he's up there. He's definitely up there.
Man, you were hyping the shit out of this. I mean, I really can't wait to get there.
He's cool, man.
Wait until you see his Turf Wars.
Oh my goodness! Oh, Scorn Magnamalo versus Malzeno was so sick.
His Turf Wars are pretty, probably some of the most anime shit you'll see in this game.
Oh yeah, no, without a doubt.
Oh damn! I'm really hyping the hell out of this. I'm like excited. I'm excited to get the 100
Get excited!
tomorrow.
Let's go!
I'm excited to get the 100 tomorrow.
Triple digits.
You know what? Fuck this. Y'all ain't going. I'm going by myself. I don't want to get fucking murdered.
Yeah, I honestly recommend fighting him solo for your first time. Even if you cart and don't care to just do it multiplayer afterwards, the experience of just fighting him solo is like really cool. It's just cool.
Yeah.
The entire time I was fighting Scorn Magna, my vocabulary was 99% what the fuck and 1% actual proper cohesive sentences.
Just gorilla noises, my guy. Just gorilla noises.
Basically. It's just cool to see new things, especially with a returning monster. You know, like they just made a different version of a returning monster from the base game or something. It's cool to see a good bit of new things and all that, and it's like this is really neat. So, yeah.
Oh man, but even by that sound, like Blood Orange Bishaten, Magma Almajon, Aurora Somnicanth, and Pyre Rachna, all fantastic, great, sure.
Yeah.
Scorn Magnamalo is another step up. Like it's
definitely
even by that, it's so good. There was some love and attention made to this after everyone kind of bullied it in base.
Yeah, true.
That's why he's scorned, man.
As a matter of fact, you are correct, because as I recall, this is a Magnamalo that we fought and did not kill or capture. So he's back with a vengeance.
Look, all y'all bitches, I'm gonna murder you. Well, speaking of like, cause Lav mentioned the final boss, Geismagorm. What's everybody's thoughts on Geismagorm?
Cool
I think so.
presentation.
Yeah, really good presentation. Again, when you compare it to stuff we've had as of recent, like um Xeno Jiva, Safi Jiva, Shara Ishvalda, like he's big, but again, like Lav said, the presentation's just there. But Shara's just ugly.
I
Shara,
agree.
the other
Yeah.
thing that a lot of people don't really pay much attention to is when you look at Iceborne's final boss and Sunbreaks, the presentation for Shara is built into the hunt.
Mhm.
Guys McGorm's is not built into the hunt.
Mhm.
They like, you know, allude to, oh, there's something in the water. It's in the very bottom where all the ruins are, and blah blah blah. And then they give you the reveal of what the entire thing is,
Mhm.
and then they just push it down the water and they say, okay, go out, go get it. Char is just, uh, we found the thing that's causing all
Rock.
the earthquakes. It's a big old rock. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. And then you
It's
just
not
go
a rock.
into, yeah, and you go into it, you fight the rock, and then it just suddenly breaks, and then it's just like, hello.
That's not a rock.
Yeah, and it's two tracks that play in the fight,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not including Proof of a Hero or anything. It just plays it has a really, really good setup, a good build up and everything, and it's again, the presentation of Char Valda, I think, is just way better than Geismagorm. But I think Geismagorm is still a good elder to add to the family of final bosses, given what they have you doing, and the map itself looks pretty cool. They didn't uh like, you don't have to use the ballista. Like I mean, they want you to because you can knock them down and stuff. But failing doesn't mean you die or anything, which is nice.
That was my
Yeah.
favorite bit.
Yeah, that stuff's cool. It's nice, and it's like, also, you line up, you get on the ballista, and you just open fire and focus target, and it's a little tough because of the way that the bullets travel, the hitbox location on the weak
Mhm.
points, blah blah blah. Like, that's basically it. But it's not like over the top or too extravagant or anything. It's just very simple and effective, and I like that about Guys McGorm.
That's fair. That's fair. Like you. I think it's good. I think it's good. It is a far cry from my favorite, but it's
Yeah.
certainly very admirable, and I like, especially on your first run through of it.
Oh my
I enjoy
god.
the feel of that, and I think
Oh
that's
yeah.
kind of a cop out because like your first run through against
Anything is the same.
anything's gonna be amazing. It's
Yeah,
gonna be amazing, but like this one
sure.
felt really really good. I didn't even think to compare it to World, especially not to like Safi Jiva or
Even
um,
Sappy, even Zeno had the same sort of
yeah.
cool presentation and build up and everything. It was, yeah, it
No,
was
this all feels a lot like the previous portable games. Like I did I make is Atul Kar from For You or from GU?
G G.
He is from GU.
Gee.
So like I was comparing him to things like that. So it was like, and in that regard, he still for me is a little underwhelming physically. The fight itself is pretty neat, especially because I can hit him. That's always really nice.
Yeah.
Like bring your head here. We're gonna go to KO Town.
Hmm.
Um, but
Guys,
there is a piece of me that is comparing him to Amatsu, to Atelkar,
Guys,
to
McGorm is basically got from my assumption, has a similar skeleton to a Cantor and Ukinlos. Even the
don't get
tail.
my hopes up.
Yep.
You were the second or third person I've spoken to
Yep.
about the possibility
It's
of those two coming back for the first time. No, they came back in GU.
yeah,
Um,
even the tail, when you cut it off and everything, it has like that weird hand curling into the ground kind of look
Mhm.
to it. It's the same thing.
but yeah, I did see that it was like I thought it was a hybrid model between that and of course the Ibushi Narwhal models we saw earlier.
Hmm.
So yeah, like I would very much like to see those two come back in a future title update. Quite a lot,
It'd
actually.
be interesting.
I definitely enjoyed the fight more than All Mother, because fuck All Mother. I hate that
Yeah,
fight.
I'm. I don't dislike All Mother personally, but I I like the music in Geisma's fight on top
Yeah.
of just I don't have to worry about anything ridiculous because like failure in air quotes gives you the thing that's ridiculous, which is fine. Like
Mhm.
the signature attack is what you get to see, et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, that's pretty neat, and it's easy as hell to get away from, and people can't like just die immediately, like over and over and over again upon seeing it the first time because you can just get off the ballista and run away.
Yeah.
So it's not like the Dragonator's blender that everybody always gets hit by, and
I'll be honest with you, I haven't actually done that appropriately in
Yeah.
a very long time. At that point, like I
just
can
Farcast
do
her
it.
out.
I can absolutely just run in with my Silkbind, sit in the middle. But I think, you know what? I'm just going to forecast her out and just not deal with it. Just not deal with it.
yeah, that's what people do sometimes. A lot of times they even forget they have forecasters, or or that they can do it. And the other alternative is if you get hit, just lay on the floor and don't do anything.
Truth, because you'll still get sucked in and you'll
Oh
be
my god,
vulnerable.
I have to tell people so many times. Like Happy didn't know. Like Happy was
Just
like,
don't get up.
yeah, I cannot avoid those. Like, just lay down. Like,
Yeah, just
Yeah.
don't get up.
if I really want to slick dick it, like I will
Get hit on purpose.
I'll take the hit on purpose and
Yeah.
then like dash in and not take a second hit or anything. Or shit, like I'll like super slick dick it and not take any hits from them, just like kind of thread the needle through them.
Mhm.
And the lightning hit that it does. Like I've gotten so like I've done all mothers so many times that I've gotten so used to the Dragonators.
Mm-hmm. I tend to cheat on Switch X through that as well, and just was it Invincible Gambit my way in?
Yeah, you can do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can come back the hell out of that. Yeah.
Worst case scenario, I time it wrong and I take some damage through my armor, but I'm in there.
Mm.
You can also counter it with the elemental counter too.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
there you go.
I just
God, I'm
don't
so
interact with it.
trash with that ability.
I just don't interact with it. I'm just like, oh, I make sure I have 2 Farcasters before hopping into there. I grab one out of the box, and then I have
Yeah.
one already always with me. So I'm like, I'm just gonna as soon as the move that she does right before it ends or whatever, I'm out of here.
Yep.
You guys deal with
And
the
then you just
Dragonators,
wait
I'm
for
out.
the roar.
Yeah.
Once you hear the roar, you know you can go back in. You won't be. They'll miss you in all versions of the fight.
No, I actually thoroughly enjoy Guys McGorm. The presentation of it was really good. I mean, the first time you go in it with Fiorine, she gets the badass.
Oh,
cutscene.
she's so dreamy.
Yeah, the finishing, the cutscene.
Yeah, it's so
It's
cool.
pretty cool.
When I first hopped into it, like when I first did it, I was like, I wasn't too impressed with like the model or whatever. I was just like, okay, it's just some giant. Like it's not like Safi Jiva or Xeno Jiva where it's like a fucking space. Space
Oh
dragon.
yeah. Some alien fucking creature.
Yeah. And again, it's not like Char where, after you beat up on its rock for like 20 minutes or whatever, it turns into some ugly looking motherfucker.
Yeah.
And it stares directly at the camera.
Yeah. But no, after a while, and then you get down to like where you pretty much like almost killed it and you Proof of a Hero fucking starts playing. And so you're just like, yeah. It's a cool fight. Every time I do it, I'm like, okay, it gets a little cooler each time.
No matter how many times you hear it, anytime there's a fight happening and Proof of a Hero kicks in, it's amazing.
Dude, it's like counterattack in Xenoblade 2, man.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's exactly what it's like.
Every time counterattack plays, I'm just like, yep, well, some anime shit's about to go down.
Enjoying the video? Remember to like and sub. Helps out the channel a bunch, and we're grateful for everyone we get.
So, do we like this? Will probably be the I guess the longest section or whatever. What criticisms would we have for Sunbreak? I know there's a few. Either one of you can go first.
No investigations.
Well, okay.
Truth.
We talked about this
Truth.
everything we had going up to this point.
It's possible we might still get them. That's why I'm holding out hope.
I don't know. I don't know that we're gonna get those in a title update, though, are we?
I don't think we'd get them, mostly just
No.
because everything seems like it's set in stone, especially with the anomaly quests. But that's just what I'm assuming.
Now, if
But I
only
don't
we
know
got
how it
random
would.
anomaly quests, that would be cool.
I'm
But
trying to think of other criticisms I have.
Oh, I've got a list, my guy. I'm gonna go last on this one.
I mean, I don't. There's definitely some switch skills that are not really flashy and cool, and some that are just not used at all, which is a little bit of a disappointment. But again, I don't mind the variety, the option to want to change and use it and just try something different. I think that's fine. But sometimes it feels like some of the other switch skills are just literally completely useless. Like there's just no purpose in using them. Like they are direct upgrades.
Yep.
When you go to the new one and you just don't use the other ones at all. It's like, all right. Some of them also feel like they could be like some of these are switch skills that feel like they could just be integrated into the weapon's moveset already with a different input. Like it just doesn't make sense. So there's a few weird things. It feels like they're kind of just trying to add a lot to the game via the switch skill stuff by just kind of throwing something in there and just saying, yeah, it's a switch skill. It's an option you can have instead of just making it, native to the move sets that you already have. So a little bit of a disappointment, but that's only like a couple skills. The majority of the skills are fucking cool and fun anyway, and they don't feel like they are, the next upgrade that I should be using this instead of that. Like using longsword, for example. When I was trying out the new skills, I was like, man, I don't really feel like I want to use some of these old skills for a little bit because these ones are really fun and cool. And then after giving it time, I found out that you literally have to use all those skills. You can properly use both scrolls to have unique sets to get a nice proper cool rotation going, especially for the specific like for specific scenarios. And I think that's neat. And seeing longsword get that treatment was like, man, it's such a vast change. It's just a complete 180, and it feels nice to feel like I can utilize a number of switch skills on just that one weapon alone, and they all can actually do something, fairly useful for the situation. And there's only like, well, maybe one, two, maybe three weapons where it's the opposite, where it's like, why the fuck would I use this? There's literally no reason for me to use this. Like it's just quirky kind of thing. So yeah, that's a very slight complaint about the switch skills, but it's not too big of a deal. At the end of the day, I can just swap whatever, so I don't care.
It's true. Yeah.
But it's just weird. It's just a weird feeling. But I mean, when someone of you guys might end up mentioning it, and I'll be like, oh, yep, yeah, I don't like that too. Like it'll probably dawn on me as well. But that's all that I can think of immediately. It's just the lack of investigations, the a little bit of the switch skill stuff. I would say the charm stuff and whatnot, but I won't go into that personally because there's more to it than that now in Sunbreak that I'd rather just wait until later to talk about than just to
Sure.
go into that all of a sudden. So I'm good.
So now what grinds your gears?
There's not a lot that grinds my gears, honestly. I mean, it's like Lav said, it's small, little, minute things. Like in regards to Gunland, certain switch skill stuff, especially for Gunlance's ground sweep. Like the fact that when you decide to use your wire bug or like put the weapon away, you lose the buff instead of it like the buff like falling off
Yeah.
normally. And then it's like, well, like usually what I like to do is ground sweep, switch over to the barrage, and just have the buff for the, the barrage. But if for any reason you put your weapon away to like maybe heal or do anything, you lose the buff, and that's a wasted wire bug. So kind of wish they would like adjust that maybe.
It's the same thing with Lance. If you use
Mm,
Anchor Rage and get your Lance buff, if you sheathe, it's gone. I'm like, okay,
it's
cool.
gone.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's no good.
Yep.
Yep.
God,
They
they
at
literally
least
designed a switch skill so that Charge Blade wouldn't have that issue. I'm surprised they didn't foresee that for the Lances. Like, it's the whole reason why the secondary guard is there on Charge Blade now, so
yeah.
that we get to keep the pizza cutter.
Yeah,
Mm,
they at least buffed the duration for the Lance for Anchor Rage at least, and it's a good buff, but it still just feels weird because you feel like you're kind of battling yourself in the heat of the moment when you're fighting something like, can I be risky and lifesteal, or should I just say screw it and just sheathe, or lose the buff and just heal myself no problem, or rely on someone to life powder or a buddy to heal, stuff like that, and
yeah.
it feels uncomfortable, honestly.
Hmm. Other than that, there's not really a lot that bothers me. The fucking Citadel bothers me. I will say that.
Really?
I fucking hate the Citadel with a passion.
Whoa! I'm surprised to hear this. Go on, sir.
Is it too big?
Everything, like in terms of like spear burbs, it's so spread out, and you have to go through hell and half of Georgia just to maybe remotely fill up. Whereas like any other map,
It
any
actually
other
Jungle,
feels
the
like
map,
the
jungle
direct
is
path.
much better.
It
yeah,
actually
it's
feels like
more,
the direct path and with other maps.
yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas like like you can't even really map out like where you want to go. Where you want to go looks like Alabama's offense. It's like you got a
Dude,
bunch of
yeah.
lines. You
Yeah.
got a bunch of lines going every way possible,
He's
and
not
none of them
wrong.
are like a straight line, like
Yep.
a straight direct, route that ends at something where you have a decent amount of spirit verbs.
I thought
No, it's just
I am
go
Dullet,
ahead.
isn't the route we go through pretty evenly like coordinated though?
So, like the answer to that, Aqua, is yes, but our route is ridiculous because it takes us up the left side, and for me,
Mhm.
it ends on the castle ramparts. So,
See,
like,
you
I'm
left through
not
hell
getting
and half of
yeah,
Georgia.
I'm not
just-
getting a straight line.
I
Sly is absolutely correct about that.
I
But
I've got a better route than that.
Okay.
I'm sure.
It does not go through the entire left half of the map at all. It does go to the middle, but it's still, like Sly said, it looks like a fucking like a fucking X marks the spot treasure map
Oh,
that
100%.
you
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
But it's one of those things where the investment for getting the spirit birds for the Citadel map, it you actually feel like you're taking a long time compared to any other map
It
in the
does.
game.
Any
It's
other map.
true.
It
It is
feels,
Mhm.
true.
and that is in the route that I use still incorporates at least 2 great wire bugs.
Yep.
Same.
And by the end, it still uses or still gives you, like, most of your health, and depending on RNG, could give you a little bit more stamina
Stamina.
or
Mhm.
nothing, and the attack and defense are perfectly fine, like, that's no real major
Yeah.
issue. But other than that, yeah, I agree. Like, I don't hate the Citadel map for, like, the bird reasons or anything like that. I don't like that for some reason, there's just frame rate issues in that damn map.
Really?
Is there? I haven't
Uh-huh.
noticed this.
There's frame rate issues on that map and it might be a monster specific issue, but the cold zone on the surface before you go down the into the cave, that zone has a very specific part where sometimes I drop frames. The area right before the north end of the map where you fight like Gore or Shigaru in like the cold
Sure.
zone, the very top, that area right before you climb up the vines can also sometimes drop frames for me. The center of the map, a little bit north of the center of the map where there's another. It's like still greenery going into the cold zone, but there's a climbable vine point with a
Mhm.
wire bug next to it.
Yeah.
That can sometimes dip a little bit. Everything else is fine. It's a very, very specific weird issue, and I'm like, I don't get this. Like, why is this happening?
Well,
That's
I
my
mean, I assume it's just optimization. It's
Yeah.
already black magic what they've done to
Yeah.
get that running the way it is. So
Yeah, it's also it is quite a big map, and there's a lot going on too with the different like
mhm.
effects and things like that. You tack on the monster effects and everything. I mean, I could probably do some more testing and like lower a couple of effect details here and there to see if that helps at all, and then I can figure out, okay, yeah, the effects are doing it or something. But yeah, I'm running everything at max, and I'm like, this doesn't feel good. Like I've noticed
Ah,
I'm literally going from like 90 FPS or so to straight 40, and it goes back up to like 70, and I'm like, what is happening? My eyes
that's weird. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it's
something
it's
I'll keep an eye out for.
and it's
Yeah, because I
only
don't.
that map.
Then again,
Is
I
that?
have custom setups because I know certain things that are more impactful for frame rate, so
Yeah.
I might already have those turned off.
True. I
True.
think I might have stuff turned down on mine, so I don't see any frame drops. Really.
But I would be interested just to run everything at high and see if I run into those same stutters because that's not even something I thought to look for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
it's
only
really
the only um the only performance issue I've run across, and I don't know if it's even a performance issue, is that I know me and Dalit have seen it. Like when you have like a join request out, the game hitches when somebody joins.
Oh
Yep.
God, yes.
That happens even in the hub. When someone joins, your game freezes for like a half second, and then
Mhm.
Yeah,
they jump in. Yeah, and
and,
it
and
happens
I don't.
before.
I didn't know. I never saw that happen in base. So I don't. I think that's a.
It did
It
not.
was.
It did
It's
not
because it
happen.
Yeah.
didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
didn't. I don't know why it's doing that in Sunbreak, but
I'm assuming they've had to mash so many things in what feels like a pretty quick amount of time, all things considered. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe I was just more busy this year than I'm used to being. But
yeah.
ooh,
One thing
but
as of recent, have y'all noticed a increase in load times in some hunts?
There are
Well, well,
yes, yeah.
well, I would say it's mainly. I think it's mainly
I think it's a
player based.
I think it's also a
Yeah,
connection
because
issue thing.
it's like we'd have a hunt and like the load in is just fine. It's pretty much instantaneous. Then the following hunt, someone else would join, and I think their connection would probably be bad, and that's what causes it to like we would just be sitting there waiting like almost a minute
Yeah,
for us to get into the hunt.
yeah.
Wow.
That sounds like a
it probably
connection.
is a connection thing, but also this is something that I noticed at the very beginning of Sunbreak that I think has been fixed because I haven't experienced it anymore, but I feel like there was a memory leak problem at some point because on the days where I was able to like actually sit down and no life it,
Mhm.
uh, after so many hours, loading would also start taking longer and longer there as well. And it was an easy fix. I would just close the program, give it like 15 seconds, and reopen it, and right back to normal. So I would be inclined to think that they have fixed that issue, if it ever was an issue for anyone else, in one of the recent patches. But if they haven't, and the memory leak is a real thing, if one person experiences that and everyone's loading in at the same time, you're only as fast as your slowest player, right?
Right.
I feel like Sunbreak has had a kind of a I wouldn't say like a deluge of like bugs and issues, but it's had a lot. I know me and Dalit, we constantly get an issue where we'll load into a hunt, and if we're using weapons that charge, as soon as we like pull them out, they'll immediately start charging, and we can't fix it unless like exiting the game. Where sometimes I have to unplug my controller, mess around on my keyboard, plug my controller back in, and it'll stop
Yeah,
auto charging.
that works for me as well. I'll
I've
just
never seen that.
switching to keyboard and then switching back.
That is interesting.
And
But
I
yeah,
thought it was just me and
chart.
Dahled having that problem.
No,
But-
I looked it up. There's a couple other people who have mentioned this.
I do know about there's a charge blade issue like that too.
Yeah, because you're
where
forced to overcharge. You get rid of like the core of your whole identity.
CB has this weird issue where whenever you try to do SAED, you do the input, and the game will, for some reason, read the input as a sword attack and would make you do like the just the upswing that let you build files, and it just doesn't let you SAED at all. But in my experience, I have only seen it like twice, and that's because in the time that I tested it, when I first saw that issue, I only input the command once and just hoped that it would let it do its thing. After that, I started spamming the button, and I had zero problems when I spammed the button. And I was like, okay.
Capcom, are you asking me to plink my commands? Are we going back to the days of Street Fighter 4? Do I have to play this on a stick? Is that what you're saying? But yeah, no, I mean, it is strange to run into these issues, but I mean, at very least, we figured ways around it, and all of these issues, to me, pale in comparison to that huge issue upon release, which was you don't actually own this DLC.
Yeah.
Therefore, not only can you not play the DLC, you're not allowed to play the base game. Please restart.
That was pretty tough. That was pretty rough. Yeah.
They fixed it, which is good.
Thank goodness, because I was one of them who was suffering from that. Tara suffered it even more than I did.
Oh my god.
Yeah, actually, Tara had it twofold.
She had it bad.
Her internet connection would just drop.
Yeah, it was like every 2 months she would have to restart the poor thing.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I don't want to say. I don't want to say it feels like some of the QA was probably rushed for this game or for this.
It 100% was.
But I wouldn't be surprised.
It does feel like it kind of was.
Yeah, I feel for everyone who's in QA. They get screwed so much because they have to take the blame for this, and they don't get to set the parameters for what they test or how often or how long they get to test it.
Yeah, no, because I mean, it shouldn't be. It should I mean, it's on them to fix it, to actually QA the game, but it's also it's on Capcom. It's on the people to set a good amount of time for them to actually do that. And if they're rushing them, then I mean, like the game is not bad.
No, we should again preferencing everything that all of us say that is negative towards this game with we love this game, but because we love it, we want to see it get better. Therefore,
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Dolly, you said you had a list, so
I do. There's a lot of things that, like I've pared it down because there's a lot of things that are just I prefer, but in terms of like actual like issues I take with the game, chief among them, no cap, I do not like spirit birds. Please let me eat my food and get straight to farming mons. I am more than happy to interact with your whole map. I will take expeditions where I just do not fight and I just wander around. But don't make me do that every time I go out, please.
Yeah, I'm still surprised that they decided not to add like some sort of provision division thing so you can just spend points to give yourself max buff from birds.
I absolutely would every time.
Yeah. It's just I don't understand why they did that. Me personally, I'm not going to use like the mod to give myself those birds, but I don't fault anybody who does it. Honestly,
same.
It's just, I do get that they wanted people to have like slight reward for mobility, where like how we have our routes, that kind of stuff.
Sure.
And it does feel rewarding when you fucking fly around and grab the bird and keep flying around, and it's all seamless and everything. It is fun when you get to try that out for a little bit, but at some point, everybody goes through this. I'm tired of doing this. You know what I mean? Like that's just
after
how that's
500 hours.
Yeah, and there's just no way to there's no alternative. It's just you're not forced, but like you're just like if I want to get bird buffs, then I'll have to go through all this again over and over again, and it's
Yep.
not great.
I mean, it ends up being one of three things: either you fancy your chances as you are and you go after the monster, and I mean, at some
Yeah.
point you're just going to know the monster so well that you probably don't need the buffs.
Yep.
But the other options are, again, people will find a mod. I did not know that was a mod, but I am not at all surprised to hear it.
It was around since base rise.
Yep. I didn't know this, but boy, oh boy, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Or you fancy your chances, go in, and you're not good enough, and you just get frustrated because now you realize, with my base stats, I'm not good enough to beat this monster. I have to go get the birds anyway, and it's really frustrating. I don't. I can defend a lot of choices. I just think Spirit Birds is not ideal. It was hinted at earlier. I actually genuinely don't like wire bugs. I think our hypermobility makes us way too powerful, like aggressively powerful.
It does.
But I'm not
But-
gonna fault the game for it. I don't think this is something that they should take away. Like, I recognize this is one of the core conceits of this game. This is something the whole game is balanced around, and especially with Sunbreak, I think they've done a good job of tuning the monsters better for it. Whereas, even though there were some punishing moves in Base Rise, I don't think they were that bad. But they seem to really have figured it out in Sunbreak.
Yeah. It does seem a little bit better.
I still feel like we're really, really strong, though.
Yeah, I agree that we are very, very strong. Um, can't believe I was right when I said that the shoe is on the other foot, and they made it so that we're the ones that are way stronger and faster,
Yeah,
and the monsters don't get to play the game.
yeah.
And I can't believe it. But afflicted quests at least kind of give them a little bit of a fighting chance, but then they kind of also shot themselves in the foot a little bit when you get a competent party that can just hit the right hit zones
It's just
and
a different kind of stun
lock it
lock.
down.
Yeah,
Yeah, and there is that's a double-edged sword. Unfortunately, it's very fun and satisfying because you are seeing the results of your teamwork. However,
true.
you are also heavily rewarded. That motherfucker does not get up for minutes. Like
Yep.
they're just down for a while whenever
This
you
game
hop
has
off
never
the ball.
been balanced for 4 people. I think
Yeah,
I've heard people say, I don't know if this is true, but that like online is actually balanced best for like 3 hunters, and so
I
it
don't
makes
know.
sense
Maybe,
that like 400s has always felt really strong.
but I would not know personally. But
Same.
I do know that I definitely agree that we are still really, really strong, and the monsters do not like they do have new tools and things like that. However, they are still slightly slower than what I was hoping for. And then meanwhile, you have the people who are like, when they're fighting afflicted, they're like, dude, they move too fast, bro. What the this is ridiculous. And it's like, make up your fucking mind. Do you want them to have a challenge, even if it's something as quick as make them faster, which is what they've always done in the other games, or do you want do you want them to actually put up a fight, or do you want to fucking complain about how they don't do anything because you're bullying the shit out of them? Like you just can't win, and it's the same shit over and over again. It's so stupid. But
Oh yeah, my third complaint, by the way, is the forums, which is unfair. The forums are absolutely toxic.
Oh, well.
It's so bad. Don't
They're
like.
forums.
I
They're
tend to
forums.
yeah, exactly.
the
I tend not
forums.
to go onto them, but like with the early bugs, I did poke my nose around. And the fact that the Steam forums are worse than Reddit is stunning. Maybe that's always the case. I'm never on them, but
I'm never on them either, but I do know that I hear people saying that Steam is just a cesspool.
it's
Basically,
so
for every game.
bad.
Yeah, that's just how it is. But
Oh, one
that's
more thing.
mhm.
And this is kind of light. I didn't like Apexes. I don't know many people who like actually appreciated Apexes, and I think Afflicted is a step in the correct direction.
Apexes as in Rise's Apexes?
Sorry,
Yeah.
Capcom. This is the issue.
Yeah.
Rise is not for use. Like I didn't like Rise's Apexes. They were fine, but like you didn't get anything for them
There was
really.
no
You just
reward.
made you made a couple of decorations, and then there was no reason to interact with them.
You
I
made
will
you made a,
say,
you made a couple of decos, and you also were allowed to make weapons that are no longer used.
yeah, and there was no upgrade path for them.
Yep.
So yeah,
Hmm.
I definitely
They're-
prefer the Rampage decorations to the Rampage weapon, though. If I'm honest.
It's possible that they might make an extension to those weapons and just say, yeah, afflicted materials are required to upgrade the rampage weapons, and they're just other weird options that have maybe more rampage slots than other weapons. So it's just a
Sure.
weird quirky thing.
And they were the only weapons you could layer anyway, so that in and of itself is a big reason to maybe want to make one.
Or just also layer everything because we deserve that instead of one
I
weapon
agree.
that no one ever really wants to use too much.
Look, I
One thing I will say, I do kind of miss like the putting certain attributes on rampage weapons.
Oh, like the attack up, the defense up, the special
attack,
idea.
sharpness,
Yeah.
things like that. Yeah, I really
ramp
miss
up
that.
stuff.
Oh man, the ramp up, Rajang Charge Blade was neat. Yeah, Bludgeoner, give me that. I have a reason to stay in green sharpness. Let's go.
We don't even have every rampage skill yet either.
We don't.
Nope.
Yeah.
We're missing probably like 2-3 pages worth of skills, maybe.
That said, the afflicted monsters are neat. They're the way we're getting our outfit vouchers. I don't know if that's the best way, but it at least gives us a reason to interact with them. They're almost all of the rank 10 weapons are locked behind completing a number of them multiple times. I still think they missed the mark because you don't get anything for them.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to have seen a specialty set for the afflicteds.
Yeah, they did that, and they did something like that with freaking GU. They made hyper armor. I was hoping that when we finally got when I first unlocked afflicted, I was like, oh shit, I wonder what this is supposed to be. And then when I fought it, I was like, this is just hyper monsters from GU.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, I wonder if that means there's also afflicted armor versions or something.
What was
And
that,
then
the
I
R series?
was disappointed. No, it's XR.
It's XR, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and we didn't have that, and I was like, all right, well, all right, that's fine, whatever.
I mean, yeah, no, having like the XR armor would be great. Having deviant sets would have been ideal for like the Apex ones. I just think they've missed that mark twice, personally.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And again, these are all minor things, and a lot of these issues are probably more glaring to me now because, like I said, I took the time to go back and play through World again. So, like, I am comparing the two, and there are just certain aspects I would have liked to see carried over. And I think, Lavren, you've already said it, but like the most standout thing, the easiest fix to make me go from 500 to 1,000 hours in this game is investigations. I am genuinely surprised to see them not come back. I thought it was a sure bet.
I honestly, as dumb of an answer or an excuse as this is gonna sound, I do think it might honestly be just like a Switch limitation thing. I think it might be.
Entirely possible. Yeah.
I am not gonna rule out the possibility of maybe when you put in so many charm combinations into the game, that's already a lot for the game to fucking worry about. And then you also put in something like investigations, which have their own variables of types. That could be a lot to go through. So
Yeah,
they probably
could
just
be
stuck
like
with the charms.
Yeah, like a memory issue. Like there's not
Yeah.
enough memory in a Switch. Like I mean, this game's on PC, but like obviously it's made for the Switch as well. So
Yep. It was developed for the Switch,
As
specifically
always, you
developed
have
for
to
the
play
Switch.
you have to play to your earliest breakpoint, not your
Yeah.
latest.
Yep. So I mean, it is disappointing. It is sad, but Oh well. At least, honestly, when I beat Geismagorm, I was like, "Oh, okay, cool, we did it. I wonder what the end game's gonna be like." Because everyone was like, "The end game is so cool, or it's fun, it's nice, it's a lot to do," and I was like, "Okay, that's neat." And like every other Monster Hunter game, when you go through story, you go through it quickly. There's not a lot.
True.
So when I unlocked Afflicted, I was like, well, before I did, I was like, so what exactly is going to happen here? I only see master rank 1 to 6-star quests, and then they give you the Afflicted, and I was like, a 1-star? Does that go up to 6 stars? And then the game was like, yeah, for everything that you fight, you get an Afflicted version. And I was like, okay, that's neat. And then they said, not everything. And I was like, oh, well,
Yeah, not
Yeah,
okay.
I'm sure that will actually be
That's gonna be
fixed in
updates.
title updates.
That's gonna be updates. Yeah, they're doing it. They're gonna do it to preserve the longevity of the game. That's like
I
that's a
agree.
no-brainer.
But
That's gonna be
still,
tough.
oh man, I'd like to have seen a couple of
Yeah,
real
me
rough
too.
ones early,
It's
just to
it's
whet our
really weird.
appetite.
Yeah, it's really weird. But oh well, whatever. Maybe
We'll
that'll
be
make
here
the
when they come out,
updates.
so
Yeah, maybe with those updates that'll make people want to stay around for a little bit longer to farm new things because item requirements to craft the new stuff,
sure.
et cetera. Maybe that's what they're testing out, which seems possible. So
And as an upgrade to World, because I'm going to say something in a bit that's going to kind of like praise both games, but an upgrade to World is I find the armor sets stat wise, not necessarily in terms of the looks, but stat wise in Rise to be amazing in Master Rank. They all look like maybe they're not all optimal, but you could do
you
so
can
many
make
fun things with every single set as a base.
yeah, you can
They're really nice.
you can make some cool stuff with the armor specifically, and even full sets are viable if you wanted to for the heck of it, if you want to be
Yeah,
lazy, and that's
yeah.
really
Like
good.
honestly, look from the earliest points. Like after I hunted every monster, I always went back and said, "All right, what's your insane setup like?"
Yeah.
I think it'll be fun to just run a bunch of I say cosplay sets, but really just single sets just to see like what that set tries to excel at.
Oh, full set? Like
Yeah,
just one, yeah.
straight
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
But I mean, if this isn't for you and the end game isn't what you're enjoying, World still exists. Like I said, I hit 100 and I went back for comparison's sake. That game's still stupid fun.
Yeah.
Like absolutely go back. These are
Monster
not the same games. You can play both and still like not be weird Steam forms. So like I there's a lot I enjoy about both. I Rise is just very good and like there's a lot of power fantasy there. But
Mhm.
I'd be lying if I didn't admit that I do enjoy the slower, more plotting uh takes on world combat.
There there was something that I wanted to mention about Wirebug and it was something I was talking with my chat about,
Sure,
but
sure.
um on top of the arm the to kind of segue from the armor bit, um that's the one thing that I really do like about this game specifically is they actually made it feel like the armor itself is where you can get a good chunk of cool skills instead of it being
Yes.
reliant on a charm.
Yes.
While the charm is still, of course, and the stuff you can get on a charm in Sunbreak now is ridiculously good. It
Mhm.
is insane what can happen. Um,
I think there's only like 4 skills you can't get. Like
some
that's
yeah, it's
nutty.
it's only a few, yeah. Um, but I do like that they made it so that the armor pieces themselves can give you pretty much just a cool full max skill set for a number of skills. And the charm is just the charm actually does feel like a +1 in some
Mhm.
cases. It's a weird thing, some cases it feels like a charm is +1, other cases it's like, "Please God, I need this charm," and it's like, "Alright, whatever." In World, it was not like that. In World, it was the charm is it can be just another armor piece without slots. Like, it was
Mhm.
it can be upgraded, and it's insanely good,
It
to
was
help you
very
finish
core
builds.
all of the time.
Yeah, and that was something that I really, really liked too. Um, but the other thing that I was going to mention about Monster Hunter in particular. This is one thing I'm going to say because it was about the topic of wirebug stuff from earlier, and
Sure.
then I have to use the restroom. But I was talking to my chat about someone was talking to me about why, like, what in particular would you like to see for like the next Monster Hunter game, or how would you do you like Clutch Claw or do you like Wirebug more? But also, what do you like and dislike about the two of them? And I told them I think Clutch Claw is probably the better of the out of the two, specifically because it makes it feel like it's a more realistic tool
Yeah.
that can return for future installments indefinitely. Um, I love Wirebug.
What tweaks?
Yeah,
What tweaks?
yeah, no,
Well, as long as they don't build the whole game
don't
around
worry,
tenderizing.
don't
Yeah.
worry. I ain't done yet.
Okay.
I'll get to that in a second. I ain't done yet.
Okay.
This is me we're talking about. Hold on. Now, I do love Wirebug a whole lot. I mean, we all know how I feel about this, about all that mobility crap. It's speed, like it's what I am. But like the thing about Wirebug is like Dalit was saying, it's you are very 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 strong. You do feel like you are, which sometimes it does feel like it's too much, and that is how I feel sometimes. And I don't let it get to me like to a point. I'm just like, yeah, this
Yeah,
is a little bit
fair.
ridiculous. This is a little bit ridiculous, and I acknowledge it. But in the end, I'm having fun, so cool. But
Exactly.
there was one thing that somebody when we were having this discussion with this when I was having this discussion with the person in chat, they were like, what exactly would you want to do for like the next Monster Hunter game? What do you think that you would want them to bring over, et cetera, et cetera? I said Palamutes need to be a thing that stay forever. I want my cat and my dog to be just an indefinite thing. Um, same features. You can sprint on your doggo.
Yep.
It's your raider ride, etc. All that kind of stuff. But Wirebug should not appear in the game anymore. That should be an isolated thing for only Rise. Clutch Claw should return, or Slinger or something should return, and Slinger will still let you be. It'll be a part of your armor set, so they have the cool little unique design slingers for each armor piece. You know what I mean? For each armor set, they
Yeah.
always have some cool unique slinger for it. On top of the slinger will still be useful for picking up items to use and to shoot to distract or to shorten combos or something like that. But there's also more utility uh, toward there's more options for shortcutting your combos. And Clutch Claw should also be a thing where it's utilized for shortcuts. But the one thing that I brought up, and this was a in the moment spitballing kind of thing where I was going crazy. My mind was going a mile a minute. One thing that I really really thought about that I thought would be really really cool would be in the case of having a Palico slash Palamute. If you can only bring one in a hunt, or if you have both of them, if you have your Clutch Claw with you, um, and this is also adding on to the fact that you can tech in Rise. You can tech out of the air. You can tech out off the ground, and a lot of the times it just makes a lot of dangerous moves obsolete because you can just play around your cooldowns and be fine. I would get rid of air teching for Monster Hunter because you always can you have always been able to lay on the ground and avoid damage because of iframes. You can abuse floor frames. And of course, in Rise, there are some moves where you can't do that. Um, I
True.
I think that it would be cool to keep a form of high mobility in air quotes, and I use that loosely as well. High mobility for future Monster Hunter titles, while still keeping it very very grounded and combat focused with what you have and the tools that they allow you to have that are not tied to a cooldown system, or like mantles or the Wirebug how it is where the claw is just fire outward. The cooldown is basically when it retracts into your arm again, and that's it. Nothing more, nothing less, and that's fast. Now, to add on to that, you can still abuse floor iframes, but you can still get comboed from certain moves that a monster could or could not, depending on how the devs would want this. They could have monsters show you a tell that says, "Uh-oh, that's going to be a combo. That's going to be bad." Whether it's before the combo starts or in between the combo to tell you, and you have to do a snap like an in the moment reaction. And the way that you get out of it, this is the part that I was really happy about because I thought it would be pretty cool. Was if you get hit by, let's say, Anjanath. Anjanath does like the triple bite where he drags his mouth into the ground and he just keeps
Yes.
doing it. If he hits you the first time, and let's say that move, because we lay on the floor to avoid it. Technically it's the opposite instead of teching out of it. Um, but let's say that his combo doesn't d- isn't his that combo move isn't something where you can abuse floor frames. It'll keep doing it because he's technically still hitting you into the ground, right? Like he can technically still hit you, but the game is like, no, he's not. Well, let's say his triple bite does hit you while you're on the ground. At any point in time, and these would have iframes at like the startup frame, not like you're not vulnerable, the entire way through. You have a little bit of iframes to it, but if you get hit on the ground and your buddy is anywhere nearby, which would pretty much be almost all the time, you can use your clutch claw to latch onto your buddy. Like they have like a piece of metal equipment onto their body, and you
Oh,
can
nice.
pull yourself to the buddy and save yourself. And it's only available on the ground. You can't do it in the air. Like something like that. That way, you still have a little bit of both worlds where you can still tech, because I know a lot of people, myself included, but I know a lot of people who really, really fucking hate that the entire playstyle of like the older games and including World is the only option is to get up quick and get out the way, or just lay on the floor and fucking do nothing. And sometimes getting up at any point in time, whether you're safe or not, it feels tiring. Like you want to get right back in, or into the action. So of course the teching is the answer to that, and a lot of people do like teching, but it's also very, very, very punishing while also being on a cooldown system. So something like having um the ability to tech only on the ground so that you can just slide out of the way of something, I think is probably a cooler, better answer to allowing people to have some sort of quick mobility in a time that they only need it the most. And you can only do it when like, because again, in World, when again, Anjanath is another perfect example who does it in both Rise and in World. When he does his grab, what does he do when he grabs you? He throws you to the ground, and then he creeps up to you, opens his mouth, and then he just punches into the ground with his mouth. What do? You get the fuck up by attacking. You know what I mean? Like you do that. And in World, you shoot like a slinger pod, that like a bomb pod to stagger him. You flash bomb him or something, stuff like that. And if you don't have it equipped on you, then you can just use your slinger or just pull yourself or something. Like just some weird
Hashtag
little
make dung useful again.
that
Yeah.
too. That could also be useful for just a quick stagger. Like, what the hell? That smells like shit. It is. You just get out the way. But
Surprise!
but yeah, like something that still keeps a grounded form of gameplay, but also still gives you that an additional, oh shit, I got to get out of the way kind of thing, because maybe they might have maybe they might have diminishing returns. Maybe because monsters do. Bomb pods at
Yep,
some point
they
will
sure
not.
do.
Yeah, the bomb pods at some point will stop staggering for a while, and flash pods will sure as shit not work anymore.
Yeah, they've
So
nerfed flash pods quite a bit since World.
yeah, so like I think an option, and the other thing too, and this is the thing that I loved so much when I thought about it, was the idea of using a clutch claw as a tool for mobility and a tool for emergency escapes, and not just for not for the sake of wounding and nothing anything else. Like don't none of that. Just let me use it as a shortcut to do cool combos, and let me use it as a way to get out of the way of an attack, because that makes me feel like I'm actually using my partners, my buddies, more than just them sitting around fucking off and playing a stupid little flute to heal me and throwing their boomerang or something. You know what I mean? Like I actually feel like they're a part of my team, and that we came up with strategies to do these cool things together. You know what I mean? Like something like that makes it feel like I have my squad of boys with me, and we're going in to go to a hunt, which feels like the cutscenes provide when you're watching the old Monster Hunter games, when the cats were carrying the fucking, like in Freedom 2's opening, when they're running away from Tigrex and they're in a fucking
Yeah,
ice
running
cave
down the
and the cat is
mountain.
carrying something. Yeah, like little things like that make it, they add again. And this is something that I always talk about with everybody on stream or off stream. It's the little things in Monster Hunter that will always be extremely overly appreciated by everybody. It's the littlest shit that no one ever really thinks about until someone brings it up and they're just like, huh, you know? That's true, and they just and then they do end up liking that little change because that little change has such a huge impact on everything else. It's like a cascading effect, and something like bringing back Clutch Claw, but removing the wounding and using Clutch Claw as and the Slinger together as a overall new tool that was revamped and is used for shortcut combos, um, being crafty with your ammo, like shooting the rock and rocking it down and to hit somebody from above, things like that. All of that stuff feels natural and a part of a hunt while also not being overly ridiculous and changing the hunt altogether just for the sake of new. You know what I mean? Like it's still refreshing. It's still it's a little bit of change here and there and keeps the core gameplay of what Monster Hunter is while also adding and slash testing a brand new function with the claw where you can use it as an escape tool. There's no more mantles. It's just the claw has an escape tool on it, and you can use it when you need to. Does it have a cooldown? Yes. That would be the cooldown that you would have to worry about. That isn't just tied to, oh, I missed my claw, it's going to retract. That's going to be something where maybe, for example, you know how with every Monster Hunter game, you have to sharpen your weapon. It's a whetstone that's in your item loadout.
Yep.
There's probably a like if you use your clutch claw to escape something, maybe you have to specifically retract the claw manually because you're being pulled. You're pulling yourself away from something. And your buddies are helping you get out of the way. So maybe there's a reload time. So you have to use the claw reload in your item loadout, which is an infinite use like your barbecue spit and your whetstones, and you just take a couple seconds to just pull it, just retract it back, and that's it. And you can do it while moving. Maybe they could do something like that as a way to balance it. Otherwise, people are just gonna fucking just pull themselves over and over again,
Yeah.
and
That is true, yeah.
which would be funny. Like, but like, there's little things and you can also influence that feature with armor skills. You can load faster. And evade window works with that, or things like that. Even maybe even evade distance could pull you further, or some weird shit. Just little things like that. Again, it's a little thing that has a great impact because it can affect so many other different things, while also as a plus make it feel like your buddies are a part of your actual team. It makes you feel like they're actually more active in the hunt and being more crafty because you have this cool new thing you can do. You know what I mean? And the monster didn't expect it, which is again part of the whole cutscene thing. The monsters don't expect some things to happen because you're all crafty. You're equipped for something for emergencies, and you don't use it unless it's time to use it. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, man, something like that could work. It could work. It just has to be very, very fine-tunedly crafted. Even as a testing procedure, it can just be something where it's like, we can probably mess around with that, put that there, put a little cooldown on that, but they can still kind of if you fail, there's no repercussion. Like the claw thing, of only repercussion in the case of you need to pull yourself out is you take damage. But if you fail to pull, then okay, you don't have to reload it. You don't have to reload it or anything. You don't have to retract it. But if you save yourself, then yeah, you would. So that's what I think about what I would like for the future of the series because then it brings a little bit of everything from the game that the people like a lot for their fast-paced modes
Sure.
and then a little bit from the grounded combat because I know a lot of people who really fucking don't like the air teching and I don't blame them. I don't. I'm gonna go real quick and use the restroom. Hold on. I'm dancing. I'll be right back.
All right.
All right. No, that sounds about that sounds good. Like that sounds like a good I guess
I do
alternative.
yeah,
The
I think
clutch claw.
this idea of the thing that yanks us around will be evolved upon. They clearly, well, I'd say they clearly want to do that, except this is all still 5th gen. It feels like something that would continue to follow us afterwards, though.
I definitely like the sound of that more than because I mean when Iceborne came out, literally Clutch Claw was like attach yourself to the monster, tenderize, attach yourself to the monster, tenderize, attach yourself to the monster, tenderize, and then constantly bombard the monster in that spot so you can get your fucking breaks.
I mean, like that, but that's like in theory, that's what we were always doing. We would always pick a spot and break it and move on. The issue with tenderizing for me was that you absolutely had to do it.
Because
the idea of the HP for the parts and just the overall monster had been built with it in mind. So, I mean, on my recent playthrough, I've actually been pretty forgetful to use it. I'm still getting through just fine, but I'm also wildly OP with all the catch-up materials, so we'll see.
What was I say? I mean, how far did you even get into this play world?
To the beginning of high rank. I mean, I've only been playing a couple of days. Oh,
well,
that's
yeah,
not true. I only got 1 day of play in. Rather,
you got to the beginning of high rank, which I mean, that wasn't even that game. That part of the game wasn't made with.
They give that to you at the very beginning now.
Yeah, I know, but I don't think they changed the beginning of the
probably
the monsters.
Not. So, I mean, I would probably just be doing extra damage, so it's a good thing I forget to use it.
Yeah. Yeah, like so. I mean, when you're fighting like fucking Grey Jaggers or like Anjanath, like at the beginning, I don't think they changed their health pools because like they gave us Clutch Call at the beginning. I think that's only like very specific for everything when you get to master rank in world and on. That would just make low and high rank 12 times more easier. Is what that clutch call does then. I'm not sure what I would like to see in the next Monster Hunter. Because the next Monster Hunter's got to be World, right? Got to be World.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. No. I mean, some people say it might be, but I mean, I'm for it if it does happen.
Same.
But I wouldn't be against a style similar to Rise if they were to go that route.
A couple games in between every world to give them a chance to really work out the bigger picture for it, since it's a more difficult system, presumably.
I don't want a I don't want another Switch exclusive Monster Hunter though.
They make their money. They work with Nintendo, except for when they chose to work with Sony for World. I didn't even know they were allowed to do that. I thought for whatever reason they had a like semi-exclusive deal with Nintendo for Monster Hunter specifically. I'm actually well happy to be wrong about that.
Thank God.
Thank God.
It felt like that for so long because it was like PSP, stop, Nintendo. Okay, so we're just never going to not have this on a handheld. Got it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like I mean, I feel like the Switch did more harm than good to Rise.
I can see
in
that,
the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's certainly an interesting choice to try to create a new part of the player base with a focus on fidelity, frame rate, and big AAA quality set pieces, and then have the follow-up be older, and then like the world thing was just a one-time deal. It would feel a bit like a bait and switch for anyone who was hoping to get more of that.
Yeah.
So I think it's a case of when and not if for a World-esque experience, but I don't necessarily know if it'll be the next game we get.
This game was like Rise was made by you guys say like the mobile team, right? Or the
portable team, yeah.
Portable team.
Yep.
So maybe the other teams working on our world too. Maybe they're like,
could be. We know that they're not doing numbered releases anymore, so it's not just going to be Monster Hunter 6. There was no Monster Hunter 5, so
I'm not sure what I would like in the next Monster Hunter game. I mean, like I said, I've only played 2, so
I can tell you what you want because we've spoken about it, and I don't think you realize you've said this. You want Monster Hunter World with better weapons and more monsters.
I went, yeah, honestly, yeah, more. I went,
I'm still of the opinion they could have had 2 more expansions, and I would have bought them both and been super groovy on World.
Yeah, I felt like they could have just kept going on with World. There was just so much they could have updated with World.
I'm sure it was a tradition thing. I can't remember the last time they broke. Was it back in 3 where they had 2 parts of Gen 3 with Portable Third and 3U after try? But yeah, usually in my head, it's the main game releases. You get the G rank upgrade, the U, so 3U, 4U. This would have been 5U, but we've moved on to World and Rise now. And then maybe you get an additional game on the side, which I think nowadays is honestly Monster Hunter Stories. So
Monster Hunter Stories do be good though. So me and Dollets talked about this a couple of times. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Do we think Joe's coming back in this game?
Possible from the title update.
Yeah.
Even as like a sneaky one, they won't even tell you that he's a part of it.
Yeah,
I hope so.
Kind of slip in like they did Basil use. Yeah.
Yeah, like just don't say a word.
You know,
I don't think he's gonna make it though.
that reminded me about something that I don't like about this game.
Do
What's
tell
that?
it. Is it that invaders don't invade?
Yep.
Yep. Sure is.
That's exactly what it is.
Sure is.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
When the very beginning of that segment, I was like, "What is it?" I literally just talked about it like earlier today, and it's that the monster, the invaders don't fucking invade. Everything else is basically just the same as Basil, so Basil doesn't feel special, and on top of that, it doesn't matter if they invade or not anyway because they just focus each other and don't focus you.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
they're just a 5th hunter where you can get free shinies and free damage, and then they just fuck off.
This is the other hot take because
the programming for that is weird. Like it is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen for 2 monsters to kind of be in the same area. You fight, like the monsters fight, you either mount one, get parts, let it go. Next time they come back, one's running.
Yep.
Like we've had it to where we had like literally a triple threat match. Used every mount we could. And I think this was in Citadel today. Literally every monster went their own separate way. One went north, one went like west, like west, and then one went south. And then after that, if they ever meet again, one of them's running away. It is like that has always bothered me in Rise. The way the AI works for when a monster is in a location with another monster, if they've already been mounted, they'll just run away. Like, don't do something.
Yeah.
Don't just run away. The fuck you going? Do something.
Where are you going?
Well, I mean, that's the thing, right?
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Why are you running?
You're only delaying the inevitable.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But I mean, that comes down to the other thing that I forgot. So you've now reminded me after we reminded you. I don't like Wyvern riding, but not for the reason I think people assume. It's technically been in there since 4 with mounting. I like mounting. I think that's great. I like the idea of being able to get on this big old beast and topple it. Wonderful. I don't like riding because riding leads to this issue that you've just brought up.
Yeah.
Now they don't want to keep the monsters near each other.
Yep.
Because it's free damage. So they give you the one, then there's a time limit, and if the monsters ever lock eyes again, nope. And they're gone.
Yep.
Whereas if you topple it, they can just keep running into each other as much as they want. Maybe they fight. Maybe they scrap it out. Maybe there's the turf war, or maybe they maybe they do pass by each other. But yeah, I think the Wyvern ride that we have, even the devs understood the theoretical top end of that being like really strong, and as it turns out, it's really strong.
And as like Sly was saying, like they don't stick around either, because like, I mean, obviously there's a cooldown to mounting or whatever. They could have just made it
5
to where,
to 10 minutes or something.
Yeah, they could have just made it to where the monsters stay, and instead of attacking each other, oh hey, look, there's these small little humans.
Prey. Yeah, exactly.
Small little humans here. Why don't we fuck them up?
Damn.
Which would make dung bombs a lot more useful.
Exactly.
When's the last time you've ever used a fucking dung bomb?
I have not used one in Rise.
Yeah, haven't.
Exactly.
Though I think
it would make them useful.
I think.
Period.
I'd be willing to bet, and I've never tried this because we have wire bugs, so why would I bother? I think on the downed attacks, like Rajang's punch and Aknasom's head push, I think on things like that where you end up on your back looking up at the monster, like Galsarag punching you as well. I think maybe you could use it then, but why would you? You can just wire bug out, and it's free damage instead of causing a flinch. So... but to your question, yeah, no, I've absolutely not used it in Rise. No.
Yeah, no. Like you were saying, the AI for the monsters are just so weird that like they fight each other. You use one to fuck each other up, swap to the other one to fuck the other one up or whatever, and then you just run away. All right.
And there's no reason that you never feel threatened by them. If you see two of them, you're like, oh, it's time.
I've had a once in a blue moon thing where Rajang's dumbass will just come right back and be like, I'm helping, and then leave again.
Oh, I think I've experienced that.
It'll do it again, like a few minutes later, and then just leave again. It's a once in a blue moon thing, but like I found it funny and annoying at the same time.
Sure.
I think Zenogre did at one point too. It was just a matter of like a leash point, I guess, where they were. And seeing as how we were close to where they were, they decided, a hunter is here. Oh, let me go, quote unquote, help. And then they just ran back off. So it's
like you said, the monsters lock eyes and they're like, oh yeah, we're just gonna fuck off. Like there's not these tiny little fucking human beings next to them where they could be like, we're about 6 to 7 times the size of these guys, why don't we just try fucking them up? But they just run away. And then obviously that goes on to the point, like the invaders don't invade. Like I fucking miss just fucking fucking around with the monster, and then you just hear Basil uses fucking B-52 music coming out of nowhere.
Yep.
But that doesn't happen. He doesn't attack. He can walk in, and then there's either careful where you mount him. But he's not there. I don't see no fucking flying down and just immediately bomb rushing one of us. It's just I miss it. I was to say, world felt lived in, and it had that. While Rise, like you said, Rise is like an arcade game.
Yep. It most certainly is.
And that's why I was like wondering. I was like, that's what makes me think Devil Joe's not gonna come back or whatever, because he's just gonna do the same thing that fucking Basil Geese does, which is nothing.
And it's gonna make people be like, man, Joe sucks in this game. It's gonna be like that.
Yeah. This will be what, the first game that Joe doesn't make it in?
It'll be the first one since his inception, as a matter of fact.
Yep.
It's weird though. Like the AI is strange. It can't work like the older games where he just teleports to the edge of the screen because it's one continuous zone. And it's not like in world, where I kept an eye out for this yesterday or the day before when I was playing, and I picked up an egg, and you can see on the map the Rathalos and the Rathian, they blink, and then they immediately beeline to you. Like the coding is just vastly different between the two games. There was a lot more purposeful stuff happening in World, whereas the if-then in Rise is more simplified, and that makes sense because, I mean, if nothing else, I mean, Rise has a bunch of things to consider, whereas World was like had less. It had less monsters. Like they were able to more purposefully build them. I want to say Geese reacted to the first roar it heard, and it would just beeline to you.
I think so.
Yeah, so it's a lot of stuff like that I'm sure they couldn't transfer over because it's a different base system anyway. But just something I noticed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What so they confirmed, what is it, like the week after Sunbreak came out, we are getting seething basil geese along with the recent Narcocuga in this first update that comes out next month.
And we're getting the top of the tower.
Yeah, which again, it'll just be current basil goose, but hitting a lot harder. So you think we'll get more afflicted in this patch as well?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, I don't even know which ones we're gonna get, but they have to.
There's a lot of monsters that they're not that don't have
yeah,
it. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the end and the more end game monsters don't have afflicted versions of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And that's one thing I go back and forth with Dalit about. Can there be an afflicted Malzeno?
Yes. Because the affliction is different than the symbiotic relationship he has with the Curio.
But
the affliction would be that they stopped seeing him as useful and started bleeding him dry too.
They could also just make a variant Malzeno.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
true. One that is blood starved Malzeno or something, or
well, there you go. If there's a blood starved Malzeno or whatever, I'm gonna say you have insider knowledge. Because that sounds like how they would name it.
It does. I actually didn't. I can't remember if someone in my chat mentioned the name of that monster, and I don't know if they use Bloodstarved or if they use something else. So I probably just remembered them saying it, or it just kind of sounded cool, and I just kind of said it without really thinking. So I actually have no idea where that came from. I'll have to ask them if they were the ones that said it too, because I generally don't remember. But it does sound cool.
We're gonna walk out. It's gonna be this black and red dripping mess.
Yeah.
So angry.
I would say most in another and like I'm comparing it to World or whatever. Monsters in this game didn't feel like they had the presentation. They didn't have the presentation as they did in World, because like me and Dalit were talking about, you have Diablos in this game, right? And Diablos is, he looks like a scary monster or whatever, but you had the introduction to Diablos in World where it's one of the most scariest fucking cutscenes ever.
Man, I love it. It's so goddamn edgy. Walking out from a waterfall of sand, all Jurassic Park like. Oh, it's so good.
And I feel like, I mean, I understand what they were going with. Like, most of the monsters in here are either compared to like yokai, or with Sunbreak.
Yeah.
You had the three that had the old school like monster, or like what's it, TV,
The Western theme. Yeah, Frankenstein,
yeah.
werewolf, and vampire.
Yeah, I just feel like they missed out on making some of these monsters feel like bigger than what they are. I don't know if that has to deal with, like, you have the poem cutscene in the beginning, which just gives you a cutscene or whatever, or I mean, like,
bars.
some like the bars, yeah. Like the cutscenes with Malzenos in it were really cool. Like the actual story one cutscenes that had Malzenos in it. I think the Lunagara ones were all right. Garnagolem kind of felt short.
Garnagolem is unfortunately like the weakest of the three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great weapons though for like all-purpose situations.
Yeah. And then
I kind of thought about something when I first saw Garangol.
Yeah.
And I saw its skeleton and I saw its face and like which gives me a little bit of hope.
What, Great Congalala?
Fuck no. Fuck no. Well,
now that he's thinking about it.
No.
Please don't think about it.
I had to look at a picture. Now that I see it.
Hey guys, don't forget to sub to the channel if you're into what you're hearing. While you're down there, remember to like the video as much as we like you. You'll be good now.
We have SB.
Yeah.
We have SB. Garangol, his arms are fucking huge.
They're very large.
He works out.
Very large. Yeah. I mean, he's a big boy. He's a big boy.
Yeah, he
You know who else was a big boy? Lav?
I do.
Vol'jang. Motherfucking Vol'jang.
It's true.
They look so like it looks so fucking similar. Oh my god, that gives me so much hope that Vol'jang makes it.
He could.
And they put another frontier monster in.
Yeah, he is one of the more likely ones because they also already have Monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
He's just a different skeleton with what somehow even bigger arms that are also maybe on fire.
And larger horns, I believe, too.
Larger horns.
Oh, the horns are larger. Okay.
Big fucking horns.
And he's a very big monster.
He is huge.
Yeah.
He's about the size of Garangol.
Yeah,
and he summons volcanoes.
Yep. Fire tornadoes and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that also kind of supports why it would make sense for Vol'jang to actually come back is with Espinos, it's literally just a fucking wrath skeleton.
Correct.
Just a fucking Rathian looking monster. It's green. It has thorns. Wow. And a big ass horn. Like, that's basically it. So, if they can do that with Espinos, then they can do that with Vol'jang specifically.
I mean, so long as they don't make him tiny. My biggest issue with Rajang nowadays, he's so small. He's actually terrifically difficult to hit. I'm starting to get Kieran feelings all over again. Like, I don't dislike the concept. I don't dislike this concept, but it's so tiny I can't hit it, and when I do hit, I bounce. Please stop.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't like thinking about Rajang. He's easily my worst monster.
The matchup is bad for Aqua.
Yeah, he's like that Furious Rajang was like the bane of my.
You got such a messed up Furious Rajang. It was so much more reasonable on my run through when I did it. Like, it still bounced around and did all of its nonsense, but it just, oh man, yours had just eaten or something and was full of energy and would not chill.
Dude, I am convinced my account has a permanent diversion jewel, like, just slotted into my account. All right, monsters just are attracted to my character no matter what I do. All right,
I'm inclined to agree with him because I have diversion on my armor, and it's like maybe 50-50, maybe 40-60 in his. Well, I guess in his favor that they're just on him, and I'm thinking, I literally have created this so that you would look at me only me. Why are you messing with Aqua again?
And I'm not doing more damage. Believe me, I know I am not doing more damage than most of the people I play with. All right. So I'm not doing anything that really garners monsters' attention. But no, they just fucking look at me. It is how it was before Sunbreak came out. I got bullied by these Diablos that we were farming. They just kept going after me. I was like, just leave me alone, please. No, that Furious Rajang, I pretty much said never again, because I think we, I failed it. I think I failed the quest twice.
Just the once.
Just the once, right?
Just the once.
I didn't triple card, but I know I carded at least once or twice against it, and then We had randoms obviously with us. And I think I had that trouble with the Valstrax, but I think I can deal with Valstrax. It's just I just don't want to see Rajang. I just don't want to see Rajang. All right, he's too fast.
Monkey.
He's too fast. All right, and
Stupid monkey.
Somebody was saying the other day they did increase the speed.
Yeah,
for some monsters.
It's always like this in G rank.
Yeah.
At least I think that's correct. Back me up, guys. Am I insane about that? But like they typically do get faster and have, well, obviously the different move sets.
Yeah, probably. I think it's more so that their moves connect with each other so much more smoothly that it feels like they're faster. But they could also have a slight speed boost.
The reason why I suggested speed boost is because I know for certain now I get punished on SAED. I no longer can finish that and get in time to either move or block. Like on hit, I'm getting punished, and I'll be honest, that doesn't make me feel great. But it just means I have to slot back in that last rapid morph, or maybe 2 levels of rapid morph. I hope you're listening, Capcom. I seriously, I don't like that. I don't like correctly guessing my opening and getting punished for hitting. You guys, Capcom, you have a fighting game division. This shouldn't be hard. Never on hit.
I know one monster we all don't like.
Oh, all right.
Almudron.
Almudron. I've not met a person that says they enjoy this monster.
It's not my favorite new edition, must be said.
I do not care for that stupid fucking monster. I genuinely love Magmadron more than Almudron. Genuinely.
I think I only fought Magmadron once.
Magmadron is actually an improved fight compared to Almudron. But my god, I hate that fucking mud-flinging dumbass wyvern, dude. It's so stupid that they just said, oh yeah, you take dot damage when you're in his mud and you're slowed. And that's it. Meanwhile, Magmadron actually has like a full fucking moveset where you have to worry about explosive rocks, and you're not slowed or weighed down by anything. You're just fighting the monster. That's it. You're just fighting the monster, and he's got cool moves. His tail slam thing, whatever when he creates the magma ball and he tries to detonate it and it blows up fucking twice. I was like, what the hell? That's cool. And it's not hard to like deal with or anything. It's fair. It just feels good to fight him. But for some, and also,
you look at his dumb cousin.
Yeah, and also Magmadron doesn't have shit hit zones. Fucking Almudron, oh, my arms are rock hard, so you can't, you'll just bounce off. I guess if you have purple sharpness, you're fine. I can't remember, but like Magmadron is just, oh, my arms are just there. Oh, my arms are heated up. You're gonna do more damage to them, and it's like, oh, cool, sick. Like, it's just, you feel like you have more control and more uptime and everything throughout the fight, and without feeling like there's body parts that are just needlessly punishing for no fucking reason. Like that's what it feels like with Magmadron. Nothing on Magma feels like he's just needlessly punishing you. Almudron just feels like I exist, suffer, and it's like, okay, I will.
You got killed through your guard the other day, right?
By Almudron.
Yeah, by Almudron.
What does he have that can kill you? Oh, is it the dot?
No. I was just blocking and he did his overhead tail slam and my block just did not work and I died.
Oh.
And then I blocked it normally the second time.
Interesting.
Yep.
Don't know that I like the sound of that.
I don't even know what the fuck happened. And doesn't require guard up either. So
no, I do it. I guard it all the time. Well, I counter it, but same premise.
Yeah, I just don't know what the fuck happened. So I was like, okay, guess I'll just die. And I don't know, man. There's instances in the game where some monsters just kind of, especially with Almudron, but like, so I don't remember what other monster it was, but I remember fighting something with like Sword and Shield, and I was literally looking at the monster, and the attack went right to me, and it was like, let's say I'm facing a monster, and it has a horizontal spin attack, and it's gonna hit me from my right side. I'm blocking, and I even start to churn with my block up to look just to face it, just to be on the safe side, just in case, and that always works. Now it just doesn't work, and I'm like, "What? I have plenty of stamina, nothing is wrong, everything is fine. There's visual proof. I have my controller UI. You can see me holding the button down, and it just doesn't work." And I'm like, "I okay, all right." And it doesn't make any fucking sense. It's not gonna hit behind me when I'm literally facing the direction it's coming from, and I'm holding the block. So, I don't know. That 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 little bit is tacked on to the part where you guys are talking about, like, the weird control thing, you know? The charge
Sure.
things you
Yeah.
guys were talking about earlier and the
Yeah.
weird CB thing, like, that's what that's more akin to. It's just weird stuff, man.
Yeah. I don't know if I have anything else. Is there like is there any points that we probably didn't hit on for Sunbreak?
Music is great.
Oh
Well,
God,
music
yes.
music is always great.
Yeah. Music was very good. Um, game's fun. We talked about that. Game's
We
fun,
did, yeah.
music's awesome,
Oh, answer
armor's fucking
answer the
cool looking.
question. Sunbreak's fun. Sunbreak's good.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. Oops. Yeah,
As it turns out, huge surprise. We love it.
yeah. And,
Um,
you know, it's great. It's a
new
good
hub
game.
area is nice.
Oh
I
my
love
god,
Elgato.
way better.
If anything
Yeah.
happens to Chiche, I will fight everyone in Elgato and then go kill Malzino one more time.
They gave us
Yeah.
a Poogie replacement because
Yeah, the
Poogie
little
wasn't in the
owl.
game.
Little snow owl.
Mm,
It's no
Um,
Mufa, but I'll accept that there's something there. My ritual may continue.
yeah. We have a new owl's nest, so we have 2 owl's nests to look at every 5 hunts.
I literally only look at the one in Elgato now.
Oh.
I don't wanna spend the time to go load back into that fucking place and then go back. I'm good.
It's quick. It's
It is
really
actually
quick.
real
Yeah, I
fast.
think it's actually really
Yeah.
quick, yeah.
Nah, I don't need the items.
That's probably
It
true.
is true. Like, Zenny's, like, easily able to be got in this game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They did a good job with that. They're
Like
throwing fucking platinum and gold eggs like it's going out of style, dude.
yeah. I'm, like, sitting here like,
good.
I'm fucking rich. What am I
I
doing with all this
literally-
Zenny?
Yeah, I literally accidentally sat on like 13 to 15 platinum eggs, came back over a mil strong. I was like, yeah, okay. I see this is nothing I ever have to worry about again.
Yeah, I am since with the beginning of Sunbreak, and by the time I was pretty much done crafting every armor piece and master rank in the game, including some weapons and stuff, I went from 10 million Zenny to like 1.8 mil, and that's also including constantly selling my money items,
Sure.
which amassed another like 5+ million Zenny, and I'm not done crafting everything in the game still. So can't wait to not have money, but I have all the armor, so that's cool.
I mean, yeah. At what point does the money even matter once you have everything, right?
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And the armor was what was really kind of doing it for me because I was also upgrading everything that I was using. So
Yeah.
You are taking it a step further than me then.
oh yeah, I have to upgrade everything. I have like literally like 5,000 fucking armor spheres across every type. I need to
No
use it.
joke. Yeah, I have like I think I'm getting there to have like 1,000 of the last 3 variants. So
Yeah, I've got a lot. I've got a lot of stuff. Just got to finish up crafting all the buddy gear, both layered and actual gear. Got to craft all the layered 100 gear that I didn't finish crafting, which is pretty much all of it. I only crafted like 1 or 2 full sets because it looked cool in the moment. I wanted to use it. I plan to make every single rarity 10 weapon for every type because the weapons are. That's another thing. Rarity 10 weapons in this game are all good.
God,
Yeah.
they're sick. Yeah.
They somehow managed to make it so that they're all viable in to some degree. And sure, some are better than others. Yeah, slots are better, sharpness is better, blah blah blah, whatever. But it's not like a vast difference like in base rise where
I agree.
oh I'm gonna use the Tigrex longsword or the Narga longsword and everything else is like 60 fucking damage less and it also has shit sharpness and all this other shit and it's like nope. Thank God it's
No,
not
it
like that
feels
in
really
Sunbreak.
good. Like all rarity 10 weapon. My first rarity 10 weapon was no lie. The Smith, maybe it wasn't the Smithy, like the
Kimura weapon?
no, the Palico switch axe
Oh,
for for the paralysis. Like
the cat one, yeah.
I used that for a long time. It was so effective.
Dude, I legit have been using the Kimura lance. The Kimura weapon series is just a great,
It's really good,
well-rounded
yeah,
series. Yeah, it's insane, and I'm
and
just
it
like
builds into.
cozy. I'm cozy with the lance and everything. It's nice.
God, speaking of cozy, you can make some real comfy sets. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people who I play alongside, they are still of the mind like they want like the speedrunner sets. I'm like, nah, man, evade extender and
Mhm.
fucking
Fade
recovery
window
up with
too is so good.
yeah, like just like at this point, like let the battle stats be carried by like what your suit gives you. Like honestly, blood rights, recovery up, and evade window are
Oh man,
huge for
Bloodred
me.
is so sick in this
It's
game.
so
I
good.
love that skill.
I mean, like, sure, I have to
Also
break a
the
piece first, but
Furious.
once I do, I'm immortal.
Also the Furious skill
Oh my goodness!
is
I the
so
dual
cool.
blades have to like that's got to be a must. No stamina loss on
It
switch.
it's definitely good for sure, but it's also one of those things where like you can definitely get on without it by like using, you know, some stamina
Sure,
stuff,
sure.
blah blah blah, your cat. But oh my god,
Yeah, that
it
skill was
seeing
outrageous.
seeing like fighting Furious and then being like, I wonder what the armor skills are like. It'd be pretty cool to see. And then all of a sudden, the game Capcom's just like, what if we actually gave them infinite stamina? And then seeing it there, and it's just like, what? Huh?
Would you
Wait,
like to be
really?
furious too?
Like it's just so
Yes.
it's
Yes, I
cool.
would.
That's how Rajan can just keep jumping around everywhere.
Mhm.
Motherfucker just doesn't run
He-
out of stamina.
He's farmed us long enough that he has a superior set. Is all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think like when we got to Malzeno and I think we did like Malzeno like 6 or 7 times when we got to Malzeno because
Man, I
everyone was
love that fight so much.
because we just pretty much like I mean I ended up like I guess two or three times after beating him the first time I automatically had a full Malzeno set.
I said it then, I'll say it now. That is the best single set in the game. If you're just not gonna do mixed sets, rock the Malzeno set.
Yeah, because like all the skills on it are so good. It looks amazing. So I mean, even if you didn't want to layer armored shit, you literally look like you're a fucking vampire, like a vampire knight. And like yeah, saying Bloodright is so cool.
Blood Red is absolutely necessary to what I have because I'm running Bloodlust and Coalescence and Blood Right and bloody Resuscitate. Yeah, no, it's great. It's what keeps me alive.
I think it comes with Max Wirebug Whisperer too.
I don't know if it comes with max, but yeah, it comes with at least 2 ranks in that.
Got the slots.
Yeah. That set's just really good. And I think I rocked that set until I actually started like getting into making heavy
Mix
build gun
sets.
sets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I still think I rock the Greaves, the Malzeno Greaves, because it's just so good.
They are a good endgame set piece.
Yeah.
I got a muffin.
You got a muffin?
I
I'm
sure
from
did.
Soup the Muffin, man. That's an upgrade.
It's also gone. It's already gone. Yeah, man, the Malzeno set, the Blood Right is just so cool. Let me tell you, You have not lived until you're playing Lance. You need to heal yourself. You have a depth block. And you just sit there and poke a broken part and just heal yourself while blocking everything. You feel unkillable. You feel like a god.
Oh, I
Because
bet.
it's just so satisfying, dude. And it feels really good whenever you use like the twin vine skill.
Yes.
You just lunge toward the monster and just fly all over the place and just shield bog them, poke them in the air, whatever, man. And it's just so sick. They did a good job.
What was that set that Code had made the other day? The one where he actually literally could not die.
My goodness, I don't know. He threw together something with like recovery up, recovery speed, blood right, Dower's blessing, defense rank 7, just a bunch of stuff like that. He was doing like piss all for damage apparently, but he would just stand there and get hit and laugh.
He just like literally, I think he took, I forget what we were fighting, but he took like the big blast from the monster, like the thing that would probably 100-0 most people.
Oh no, we were fighting an anomaly. He took the anomaly to the face, like the explosion to the face.
Oh yeah, and it did literally no damage.
It did nothing. It's like, okay,
I
would never have thought to make that, but it's clearly very effective.
Yeah, he did piss off for no damage. Like there was I'm pretty sure he was like at the bottom of like the damage list, but he like, I mean, you slap away like, I guess like a Jewel and Diversion Jewel and like he can keep tanking or whatever. That's literally a tank, like a tank setup. Like he could just
it was just killable. It was great. It was very funny.
Yeah, no, and I think what he fucked around with the dereliction build for a while.
Yeah,
which
I haven't messed around with that skill. I don't feel I do just enough stupid things that I will get myself killed.
Yeah, it's an experience. I do have a few of those dereliction builds, and it's an experience.
Yeah, even just with the bloodlust build, that's slowly sapping me when I don't have the frenzy up. That already makes me a little nervous from time to time. Ooh, on top of that, I don't know, man. Dereliction seems like it does. Like, it seems pretty spooky to me. But also, I've seen what it's capable. Oh boy.
Well, so Elgato's good. Most of the monsters are good. With all the monsters that we've seen, what would you think would be the most, like, I guess, most accurate addition to the game that we might get? Probably like what would you would assume would be like we're 100% getting this.
Tough to say.
It actually is, yeah.
I mean, there are some like you kind of feel like are sure shots, and then it's others is like questionable. Like you go back to Joe, like this would be Joe's first time missing a Monster Hunter in a while, and I don't think they would let Joe miss like this Monster Hunter.
Yeah, I mean that's true. That's certainly true.
Like, if anything, I'm thinking about the mons that are like shock factor mons that you would think, okay,
Gobel, bring back Gobel. No one remembers Gobel? I don't blame you.
I don't want Gobel.
No. This was a joke.
Do you think do you think we'll see Nergigante?
No, it's too soon.
It's possible.
Possible, just because they brought in a billion other fucking flagships. But other than that,
yeah, exactly. So if anything, you probably wouldn't get regular Nergigante. You would probably get
you would get Ruiner
at that point. Yeah.
They wouldn't. They don't do that thing where it's like, oh, you can fight the the stepping stone monster for progression at the end of the game. They won't do that.
No, they'll just give you the asshole.
Yeah,
I mean,
they'll
think
give
about near end of life. Shit, you might even get what was I thinking? God damn it! Now I lost my train of thought. You might even get who's it? You might even get White Fatalis.
I wouldn't be surprised if they brought another Fatalis in because we're back on portable.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. I was going to ask because like when we got in World, we got monsters like Safi'jiiva, we got Elatrion, we got Fatalis, whatever. What would be like an assumption to like a big monster?
Like in terms of like a black dragon?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a different color Fatalis. Like
I think, yeah.
It wouldn't just be just regular Fatalis. It would just be, you would get like a colored Fatalis.
The problem is
white.
There's not a lot of them, right?
There's Crimson and there's White Fatalis.
Yeah, there's Crimson Fatalis, White Fatalis, Elatrion. What was the one from Tri? They're not gonna bring it back. I'm just trying to remember its name.
Dire Morales?
That's the one.
Yeah.
I guess Safi'jiiva is a black dragon, if I had to guess. But I don't know anything. I don't know any others. Those are the only ones I know. So there's actually precious few of them.
Yeah, there's not many of them.
And we're not gonna get anything special like Cove. We're not gonna get any special different type of hunt. I highly doubt it for Rise. It like that only works in a world type scenario. And I don't think they could stretch it for Rise. I mean, if they did, great.
They could
but I'm not holding my breath.
They could add the 4-man hunt from Cole if they really wanted to, but no.
Okay, so here's my guess, and I mean this: they could piss off everyone and bring back reworked Lunastra.
Probably, it's possible.
I don't want to see
Lunastra speaking just in terms of what you said, like what is likely. I think a reworked Lunastra is probably in my head the most likely. I said this when we spoke last on Rise. I would like to see them bring back Amatsu, and I don't think there's a reason they couldn't. But that would be my choice. I know a lot of people want to see Yamatsukami.
Yeah.
Though I don't know if they're willing to make that fight because it's an old fight. It's an old fight.
I don't know if they're willing to make the arena for it.
Yeah, because it's a special arena too. I can't believe I'm saying this. There's no Kirin in the game yet.
Oh boy, Orochi Kirin.
I would very much like that to stay that way.
Me too.
But
me too. Fuck that horse.
I don't like My Little Pony. I love the armor set. I don't like My Little Pony.
No.
I'd rather not. I'd rather not see that motherfucker.
Like in my head, the two most likely are Kirin and Lunastra, but the ones I would like to see are.
I will say this: the monster ride, the ride for Kirin would be interesting and would fit. 100%.
Just actually have it buck as we sit in the saddle. Just do it. Yeah. Why not?
It's just a horse ride, basically.
Yeah, I'd like to see. This isn't me speaking. This is Psycho speaking through me. But Valhazak come back. Valhazak was probably the most interesting of the world monsters. Like my preference was actually genuinely
in though.
Yeah.
The Hazak set. Wait, what?
Yeah, his set is in the game. Like it's the Death Stench. The Death Stench set is Valhazak's set.
Oh, the thing is, am I dumb? Is that what that set is? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
No, the Death Stench set is
its own thing.
It's just its own thing.
Yeah, it's been there for a while.
But there is a skill, I believe, it's not tied to armor, that just does what Valhazak's set does anyway. And it's just super recovery. It's an Adongo. So it just kind of already defeats the purpose of having a set tied to it, I guess. But technically it doesn't, since you don't have to eat a dongo. But
What is also kind of weird because Valhazak's like his what is it? Not his
Effluvium?
No, his not. Well, I mean his. Fuck, I don't know what the word is, but like he fits in with like the current set of monsters because you have
he's a zombie.
Frankenstein's monster.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a zombie. He's a
He's a
Frankenstein's
zombie.
monster. We have Luna Garon, who's a fucking werewolf. We've got,
werewolf.
We have the vampire monster. Where's our zombie at? It fit perfectly.
It would fit, but also it wouldn't really make much sense for that line of thinking because the trio were always called the Three Lords.
It's just those three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On top of the fact that they were there for story purposes. So, and we were not getting any more story at this point. If we are, it's just like what they did with like Vitalis or Safi or Elatrion, where it's just like, oh yeah, here's a little bit, here's a little tidbit here and there. Oh, we saw this monster. Go fight it. Oh, okay. That's all we're gonna really get. I can't wait for Lucent Narga. I can't wait.
I didn't play a lot of 3's Endgame. I played some. Like I have fought the creature before, but I'm super unfamiliar with it now. It would be an interesting. It's going to be an interesting fight to relearn because I know it's steel. Oh boy!
Don't solve for new monsters.
The amount of people I've heard complain about Chameleos. Oh, you're in for it now. What if Chameleos was fast?
Oh, was Lucent go invisible?
Yep.
Yeah, sure does.
Yep.
Fuck.
you can follow its eyes.
Yep. And let me tell you, tracking Chameleos is way easier. Even if Lucent has like that eye trail, it's still quick. It's still a Nargacuga.
I already don't like fighting Nargacuga sometimes, man.
Man,
or like anybody with Nargacuga skeleton. Let's be real here.
Well, the only ones with Nargacuga skeleton are what? Is it just Barioth? And Barioth has kind of never lived up to the hype. So
right.
I really like the way it looks, but man, it really is. It really just doesn't live up to the hype.
Barioth sucks.
Doesn't I know Tigrex is a different thing, but like isn't Tigrex like kind of similar to?
Yeah, it uses the same like ground based flying wyvern design.
It does have the same skeleton.
Yeah.
But the movesets are entirely different.
Yeah, it's not as similar. It's less. Well,
they're still race cars.
Cat-like.
They're still race cars. That's what.
At the end of the day, they're still running NASCAR.
Tigrex doing donuts.
That's I mean, like I said, I'm all down for new monsters, so I guess I'll have to deal with an invisible cat monster. And then obviously we've all fought seething basil geese at some point in time in our lives. So
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, if only that music meant something in this game.
Look, I said it before, I'll say it again. World still exists. I'm having a blast going through it. So
no, I've done like everything I can do in World, or everything that I've gotten to the point in World where I don't have a reason to pick it up other than.
It's why I didn't go back on my uber powerful character. I legitimately started from the dirt again. Though, cutscenes. God, I'm so happy they're skippable now. Oh boy.
All right then. Yeah, I think we've hit on pretty much everything. I mean, answered the question. Sunbreak is good. If you like,
it's so good.
You like you'll like Sunbreak. Yeah. I assume. I mean, I had a list of things and I made sure to cover them all. Hell, I didn't even have to bring up afflicted monsters. You guys already did that yourself. So yeah, I mean, let's see. We got the update coming in August.
Yeah.
And I think we got one in fall. We got one in winter. And then we've got
even more.
And then one in like spring next year. Or like maybe summer next year.
There's just more next year. We don't even know how much it is.
Oh yeah, true. We don't know how many updates we'll get. Yeah, I mean, I don't know when we'll do another one of these. Obviously, let a couple updates go through and see what they're actually going to do with the game.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
it's fun.
You guys are the primo friends that we have that are at this far into Monster Hunter. I have 3
also,
friends that
it's
are super
just
into
a
Monster
joy
Hunter.
talking to you two.
Yeah, true. I mean, Lavren talks like 12 miles a minute about Monster Hunter. So.
He's got the big brain ideas.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Dahlit's the only other person that I know that like lived in Monster Hunter for a while. So
I like it a lot.
Yep. Because I didn't do this last time, where can everybody find you guys? Because I'm an asshole and I didn't ask you guys last time. Start with Sly.
You can find me at twitch.tv/Sly, aka Gray Fox. You can find me on Twitter at Sly the Fox. Pretty simple.
Yeah.
Laugh.
Twitch.tv/Lavren. Twitter.com or the at Lavren 2009, and I've been kind of uploading stuff here and there with YouTube just to throw some things on there. And it's not a Lavren handle. It's different.
It's Azure and Fist, right?
Yep, it's a Cern Fist because I love Final Fantasy 11 Monk. That's it.
Yeah. You know where to find me and Dalit. I always throw the shit in the descriptions. Yeah, thank you guys for coming on, and if you guys have made it this far, make sure to like, favorite, and subscribe. Tune in for next week's episode because we're having Jay from JRPG on to talk about Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
yeah.
can't wait.
Yeah, I know. We can't wait either, dude. That's why I loaded up X, man. I was like, okay, I'm gonna play X. And I'm not that far into it, but it's a fun game. I'm just getting myself prepared to play a Xenoblade game.
Sly, when are you gonna play Xenoblade? Huh?
Yeah, Zly.
Not anytime soon because hell, I got Soul Hackers next month.
Oh,
I want it.
Yeah.
And I'm working through Soul Hackers 1 right now again.
Dude,
that's true.
Can we for like a side second here? How stacked is this next 6 months for video games?
Pretty goddamn stacked.
God,
goodness! I like every time. Like I want this and this and this and this. I don't have the money for this. I definitely don't have the time,
boys.
Yeah.
You're gaming.
Gamers, I mean, we need to rise up and just make time because we don't have enough of it.
Just create more than 24 hours in a day.
Seriously.
Hyperbolic time chamber.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Dude, I'm still really excited for Crisis Core coming back, man.
Reunion.
I'm really excited for that. I can't wait.
Like fuck, we got Xenoblade 3 coming out in less than 2 weeks. Soul Hackers next month. Fucking Valkyrie Elysium, Diofield Chronicles.
Oh, yeah.
What is it?
Isn't Live Alive coming out this year? Or is that next year?
Soon.
No,
it's really soon.
Oh my god.
Fuck. Two Trails games are releasing in 1 month. Next in September, right? We got the fucking Trails from Zero.
Oh, Zero.
Trails from Zero. Yeah. Kuro no Kiseki 2, which I'm the only one on this podcast that's going to be picking it up when it launches.
That's true, but hey, it exists.
When that comes out,
listen,
Japanese man.
Listen, man. Listen. Whenever Sly gets caught the fuck up, we need to be back on here.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Dude, when I told this man about trying out that damn game, bro, I watching him go through the games, and I'm just like, please play CS. Please play CS3. Please play CS4.
Yeah, right.
I am begging. I've been wanting to talk to him about it. I got Mark into the dang game, and he's gone through all of it. And he's just like, I cannot wait for Hajimari. I can't wait.
Sly, where did you leave off at?
Yeah, he's waiting for the crossbill. He's waiting for the crossbill games first before he continues.
Yeah, because I've done 0, but yeah, I gotta wait for fucking Azure.
That's gonna be fucking spring.
It's
spring next year, Sly.
Yeah. We're suffering over here, man.
Sly, actually, by the time he beats Azure, Hajimari's gonna be out in English. All right. And
he's gonna be.
I don't see this. I don't see this as a loss for him.
Yeah, he's gonna be binging.
Dude, you're gonna have Azure. You're gonna have 3. You're gonna have 4. You're gonna have Hajimari.
Wait,
all a fucking row.
Did you do 3? I don't think you did.
I think I did 3. I think I did. Hold on, let me check my Steam.
What do you remember? What do you remember? Everybody on this podcast has played the game. Everybody on this podcast has played the game.
I hope you have not played 3. I hope. I feel like I told
I feel like I wouldn't be there for it.
I'm pretty sure you did. I don't think you played 3 because 3 would have spoiled most of Crossbell for you.
Where's my Legend of Heroes? I gotta go down. Legend of Heroes. Move. Cold Steel 3 last played May 18th, 2020. Playtime 121 hours.
He played
3.
He played that.
Oh wow!
Yeah. All right, yeah. So you're gonna have Azure 4, and then Hajimari, man.
Yep.
Oh, you're be eating good. You're be eating good next year. Holy fuck!
Man, I can't wait until you play 4.
Dude, okay, as a guy that's caught up to the series like entirely. All right. I cannot tell you guys. I can't tell you guys because it'd be spoiling. But I cannot tell you guys. All right, what the fuck you are in for? This game is. This series is so fucking ridiculous right now. All right.
I can't wait, man.
Yeah. Actually, Sly, when you catch up to when you get to Hajimari or whatever, after you get to Hajimari, that's a good cutoff point or whatever. I'm gonna have both of you guys back on because.
That's gonna be interesting conversation.
I have like what's it Dalit here, he's in the middle of playing 4 at the moment.
Dude, so good.
And I will even you know how people even evangelize 14 or whatever? I'm the fucking coronavirus for Trails. All right. All right.
He got me into it. Wow. I got 3 other people into it. He's not wrong. He is viral in this case.
It's
Sly wouldn't have played Trails if I didn't coax Kern I to pay him fucking $2,000 to $3,000 to fucking play that game series. All right.
Yep. And I've been ever since Sky, it's been a hell of a ride.
Yeah, and I can say you ain't seen nothing yet, and then Agua could say I haven't seen nothing.
Dude, I beat Kuro. I beat Kuro 1. All right, I did that because the fucking translation or whatever is out and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I am sitting here man, I cannot wait for Zero Field to get their hands on Crimson Sin and play through all and get that fucking translated or whatever because I am sitting here gyrating for whatever's coming next. All right, I've seen some of the stuff that's coming in that game, and I just
it's the same thing that we experienced when Sly was first getting into the game, and it was when I got into it, Cold Steel 2 was just coming out on Steam.
Oh, yeah.
And I was playing, I was playing the Sky trilogy, and I was like, man, this is crazy at the very first game. And I was like, oh my god, what the hell? And my friend Dragon was like, imagine having to wait for this game for the second game for this. And I was like, no, dude, I could not. And now I was caught up, and now I'm sitting here looking at Sly, and I'm like, imagine having to wait for that second game.
We'll continue this in a second. All right, guys. I'm cutting off the recording right here. We'll see you guys next week.
Make good decisions.
All right.
Before you go, remember to like, comment, and sub to us. Not only does it help out the channel and let us know what you're into, but it also makes you 100% cooler than everybody else. I checked with Aqua. It's definitely true.